What I love about it is the attention to detail, which makes it a pleasure to use. The IDE has a deep semantic model of your code, and it understands Android. So that makes the code editor smarter and more productive. Take, for example, this code right here. This is how you write internationalized apps in Android. You don't hard code your strings, you look them up from resource files. Well, this IDE can figure out what the real strings are and show them to you in place in the editor, as if you had hard coded the string. So note that the code is still there, it's just easier to read. And we don't just preview strings. On the next few lines, you can see that I'm manipulating some icons, and those icons are previewed right here in the editor margin.
So we can talk about stuff here. Google I/O 2013 Keynote live conversation. It's a 3-hour conversation, so we're not going to miss a whole lot. A lot has been statistics. I can go out and tell you right now that it's a lot of statistics, 900 activations, stuff like that. There we go. I think we're ready to go. Hangout. Invitation posted. Stoof like that. Oops. I got rid of it. Come back.
We can see all of my apps in the developer console.
Can I switch?
And let's take a look at Fortune Teller, which is my most popular app.
Can I switch?
Okay.
Swap
here we
sources.
go.
Boop.
This
There
app
we go.
is doing pretty well, but I'm always wondering, what can I do to make Fortune Teller a bit more
So now,
And that's
basically, they're
exactly
just
what
going
we
over a
had
lot
in
of
my
settings with
optimization tips. It
Google
analyzes
Play
your
and showing
app.
all the new features.
We look at how your app is doing in the Play Store, and we offer you insights about how you can improve it. So what do we have today? We have 2 optimization tips. The first one is telling us that we should design our app for tablets by uploading tablet screenshots directly from the developer console. Super simple.
So apps translation service where you can translate applications. That's
Some of you may be interested in
pretty
participating
neat.
in this pilot program, so please sign up in the developer console today. Okay, now I've gotten Fortune Teller ready for the Russian market. So I want to invest in a campaign to promote my app. But naturally, I want to know which ads are the most effective. And that's why we're announcing referral tracking. This makes it easy to understand which ads are most effective, and we're going to switch to Google-specific revenue. For example, we can check how our app's doing in Japan. Wow, it looks like we had a great day last week. It must have been our new in-app products. Fantastic. So that's it. Revenue is at your fingertips, just like the rest of your metrics. Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a successful app. We're making lots of money, so now I'm ready to try some new features with my app. Now, it's important. I really want to find out, what do my core users think about these new features before I roll them out to everybody? And from your feedback, I think a lot of you want to do this too. So today,
10% over here and
beta
move on.
testing
That
with
was a
stage rollout.
slightly veiled joke.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Ellie. So just checking, how's everyone doing? How are you guys feeling? Pretty good? Okay, well, I don't know about you, but I'm
If there's a
feeling
little bit of bandwidth
pretty
issues, don't
API
worry
down
about
at
it.
the moment.
They'll get fixed
So
here
I
in
guess
like
it's
4
probably a
minutes.
good time to move
Something's
on to
uploading
something
that I
maybe a
have to
little
get
bit more
uploaded right
critical.
now, unfortunately, so it's going to be a
With that,
tad
I want to introduce a man
behind.
whose
But
name
we're
is
still
always music
we're still
to my
going.
ears. Ladies
Still
and gentlemen,
hopefully
our resident
1080p,
rock star,
or
Chris
actually
Jurgens.
720p, excuse me.
You improve discovery of your apps. The Play Store home screen adapts to you. So here we see that I've got some specific recommendations for me. I've got a book recommended based on a previous book. I'm being recommended the movie Inception because my buddy Adve Plus one'd it, and some music and apps recommendations as well. But to give you an idea of how this adapts to different people, why don't we go out on a limb here a little bit and put Jay's tablet up side by side so we can see the difference. And so here with Jay's tablet, you see he gets the same types of recommendations. He's got movies and music, etc., because his friends have plus one things or based on his previous apps that we're going to be bringing the same great play experience to the web as well. You'll notice here.
See you
that,
there,
the
Mr.
same
Matthew
consistent
Rappaport. If you
design,
want to join the
the
Hangout,
same
you
content
can.
here,
It should
along
be
with
you should be invited to it.
but it's presented in a way that really takes
just
great use.
Hopefully
of,
you
the
know how
laptop.
to use Hangouts.
And,
You
we
can
also have a
join and
navigation
talk
model
with
here
us,
on the left-hand
definitely,
side
if you
that
want.
usually allows me to switch between apps, movies, music, and books. You know, in the run-through, we didn't put a picture of a more handsome man behind me up on the screen, but I guess that's fine. So that's the Play Store. But the UX isn't just about the store. We also want to bring the same great user experience to all of the Play apps themselves. So over the coming weeks, it's going to be rolling out to all the Play apps. To upload 20,000 of your songs, stream them across all your Android devices and the web. And soon after, we launched our music store, deals from all the major labels and indies alike. And so today, users in 13 countries globally are enjoying their music on Play Music. But what if we gave you access to millions of tracks from our store in addition to your personal music library? And what if we combined the power of Google to understand what you want to hear and get you right to the music without any hassle? A music service that's about music, and the technology fades to the background. We built that service, and today I'm happy to announce Google Play Music All Access, a uniquely Google approach to a subscription music service. Why don't we show it to him, Jay? Let's pop it up on the phone.
Maybe. There we go. If you didn't hear me, I said music service.
All Access starts with Explore.
Who else
It's the guided
plus
way
their
for
mother
you to
is doing
browse
it?
an
We already
entire
know
collection of
Google
millions
is
of
doing
tracks.
it.
And from the moment you
Now,
enter
we know
Explore,
that Apple
we
is
provide
trying to do it.
personalized
They're in their
recommendations
licensing
based on
agreements
your
right now. We have
listening
Spotify, we have
preferences. So here's some
RDO,
of my,
we have
personalized
all of
recommendations. We
this
also
stuff.
have a
So
section that we can swipe
it's another
over
service.
to,
So if you
that
live
shows,
in the
featured
Google
content,
platform,
top albums,
great.
songs,
That
as
is
well
where
as,
you're going to
playlists from
subscribe.
staff of music
Maybe
episodes. It's
Spotify if
always
you
fresh.
are up in the air really about
But
who
if
you want to
wanna
subscribe to.
guide our assistants, you can
Again,
swipe over
it's
and look
just
into
music
specific
service after
genres.
music
So we have,
service after
22
music
top-level
service,
genres with
and
more to drill into. And,
it's just
why don't we
music.
put alt
So
indie and go in
pick
there and
one
show what it
and
looks
you
like?
stay with it. See,
So once
if,
we're in
if,
here,
if I was a
you see
primarily
expert
Android
card
user and I maybe
recommendations
wanted to
here,
do
playlists that are curated by our music
Google
editors,
Music
as well
Service,
as top albums
I
from
wouldn't
the
do it
genre
because
and
I
key
already
albums
had
that define the
Spotify
genre.
and I
But
would
like
stay with
everything,
Spotify.
all
So it's going to
access,
be
anything you
for those
see,
people
you
who
can
don't
immediately start
want
playing.
or who haven't
So
yet
Jay's, picked a track
gotten
list
it,
here.
they're going to do it. So, I don't know.
So far so good, but here's where the magic starts, because anything that I'm listening to in All Access, I can instantly turn into a radio station. So Jay hits start radio, the song keeps playing, but in the background, All Access has made us a never-ending mix of related tracks. Now, if we're curious about what's coming up, we can swipe to take a little peek ahead, but more importantly, we can tap on the playlist icon and see in detail everything that's coming up and tailor it to our needs. So if there's something there we don't want to hear, swipe it away. Swipe it away. You want to show them reordering? You can also reorder tracks in the queue. So this is radio without rules. It's as lean back as you want to or as interactive as you want it to be. Thank you. All right. Sometimes you know exactly what you want to listen to, and we're Google, so there's always search at the top. So right now I'm in the mood for some James Blake. Why don't you go ahead and light that up? And so when, one James Blake flying over there, that's great. So why don't we pop into the artist here? And when we do, we see a couple things that are interesting here about how All Access
And
my
we're
catalog
Google.
with all the millions
Hello?
of tracks available to you. So you see here that
Are you
there's
just
one
saying
album
that
I
we're Google, so
previously
we know
uploaded,
everything? We already know.
The
That's
Locker from
kind of
James
how
Blake.
he said
If you
that.
scroll
We're
down,
Google. We know
we
what
see the
you
rest of
want.
his
So
tracks and albums that are available to me.
we're
in All
going
Access
to
blended together. And I noticed
do it.
his most recent album is
That's
available
like what
there.
they just
So I'm gonna
said.
go ahead and tap on that and add it to my library. So by adding it to my personal library, now it shows up here at the top. It's easy for me to access at all times. My library contains all my personal music that I uploaded, as well as anything that I've discovered and added from All Access. But other times, I just want the music to start. I want to get to music with minimal effort. That's where Listen Now comes in. Listen Now brings the power of Google to surface music we know you're going to love. There's always a fresh set of choices in here. So in my Listen Now view, you see the album I just added. as well as some other tracks that I've played recently. There's also new releases from artists that I enjoy. And you'll also see interspersed in here are radio stations that All Access has created for us automatically. With Listen Now, there's always a great selection of music available to me.
Great. Automatic adding of music.
And every day it surprises
Gee,
me.
Google,
I can't wait
that's
for you all to
a
have your
very
own
Google
magic
thing
moments
to do.
with Listen Now. So far that's been All Access on the phone. But of course, works great.
Spotify,
it's launching today
especially with
in the US,
the
and we'll be
free
rolling out to
service
additional
for
countries
30
soon.
days.
And
So
if you
definitely
start
it's a
trial by
competing
June
product
30th,
to
you'll pay
go
only $7.99.
directly up there with Google. Not sure it's enough for me to switch though. Not just because I'm on iOS, but just because,
All Access.
well,
It's been my pleasure to show
again,
it to you,
I'm
and now I'm
already
gonna
with
call a few buttons on
Spotify.
stage. Thank you
Why
very
would
much.
I switch platforms just to say I listen to music on Google? Because I can
Okay.
listen to all the same music on Spotify.
We hope you guys liked
And
everything you
at this
saw
current
here
moment,
today.
I think that there's
We talked about
probably
900
a
million
better,
Androids, 48 billion app installs.
there's
bunch of
probably a
new
better
tools
way
and developer services that
to
help
do
you
it on
build
Spotify
awesome
just because you
apps,
have a full desktop
find more users
application
around the world,
than
and of
you
course,
can do
monetize
on
your hard work.
the Google Play.
You also
As
saw
of right
the new
now.
Google
at
Play
least.
Store, as well as a taste of All Access, the brand new music experience that's powered by Google. One thing we haven't talked today about yet are devices. Now, this is not a device giveaway, but I do have a pretty cool announcement to share with you guys.
Device giveaway.
The Android ecosystem is truly amazing.
New Nexus 4?
Great hardware and software
Nexus 7? Nexus
experiences, a range of form
Nexus
factors, and lots of choice for users.
3.5?
Including, by the way, Google's own devices
Nexus
with the Nexus family
9?
that I'm sure you know quite well.
Let's see.
We continue to be blown away by the great new devices that are coming out from our partners, like, for example, the HTC
Their
One
way
or the Samsung Galaxy
to
S4,
do it on
for example. In fact,
Spotify
awesome
just because
apps
you have a
just like this one right here. Now, there's actually something a little bit different about this particular GS4, this particular Galaxy S4 from Samsung. Something that is not available yet, but I want to show you anyways. So why don't you take a look at my home screen? So that's my home screen. I've
New
got my Google Apps
Android
here in
version,
my
maybe?
Google folder. If you scroll to the left, that's my music widget, my calendar on the other screen. Going
see
to
here.
notifications, a pretty clean notification shade, and quick settings, also right at your fingertips. I'm pretty sure you guys are getting this, right? Yeah, what you're seeing here is real. This is a Samsung Galaxy S4 running
It's the
Android
Samsung Galaxy
4.2
S4.
Jelly Bean with the same software experience that we ship on our Nexus devices. It's Google's take on Android, and it feels really awesome on
So
the Galaxy S4.
Google Android phone.
In fact,
What?
this version of
I thought
the
Google
Samsung
was already
Galaxy S4
Android.
will be available directly through Google Play in the US. We're selling an unlocked model that works on both AT&T and T-Mobile with LTE support.
I got it. So it's basically it's an
16
unlocked
gigabytes of memory, expandable with an SD card,
S4
of
for
course.
T-Mobile and AT&T. LTE
Also,
support 16
it is
gigabytes. It's
bootloader
basically
unlocked.
what you'll find
need
if
to
you
buy
get a
that.
Nexus.
And
That's it.
we'll receive system updates promptly with every Android platform update.
System updates promptly. You can't promise that because even when you have a raw Nexus device,
This version of the Samsung Galaxy
updates
S4,
are not
will be on sale
prompt
starting
at
on
all.
June
I believe I had to
26th
wait
on
2
Google Play
days
for
when a new
$649.
version for the Nexus 7 rolled out. So you can't tell me that's promptly when I can
It is
download
a
and install
spectacular device.
same
I
day
want to thank you guys for
on
your
my
support.
iPhone.
I look forward to talking
can't
with
say
many
that.
of you over the next 3 days.
Lies.
Seeing you all in the sessions. And with that, let me ask Sundar to come back to the stage. Thank you.
Google Chrome. Which I'm using to power everything right now. That's what I use. So it's definitely will be interesting to see what they're going to be debuting with Google Chrome. They've got some nice music going there. So now they're just saying that it's on tablets, it's on phones, it's on everything now.
And we are just beginning to start pushing the mobile web forward. A lot of what you'll hear today is about how we can push the mobile web forward. It is in its early days, but we think we can do to the mobile web what we did for the desktop web. Chrome also serves as the foundation for Chrome OS, a computing system designed for and built entirely around the web. And we brought a lot of it together last October by launching the Samsung Chromebook. What we viewed as the perfect
for me, I still don't see the need for a Chromebook, for me at least, because I'm more of a power user, and I don't think that a Chromebook could do that for me. If you're a light user, Chromebook is awesome for you because, well, it's a Chromebook, and you can do tons of stuff with a Chromebook, like Chrome things and stuff.
It is an ecosystem play, and we have many more partners joining our journey. Acer, Lenovo, HP are all shipping Chromebooks now, and we are expanding our presence in retail. 2 months ago, we also announced the Chromebook Pixel. The goal behind the Pixel was literally to design the best laptop out there possible. The screen on this laptop is gorgeous. It's the highest resolution display that's ever shipped on a laptop.
A Retina display laptop, I don't think, is a good buy right now, just because it's not, the operating system is not very powerful. I mean, I've played around with it, it's great, it just doesn't have a lot of the power settings there, and if you're really using the Chromebook, what they're really wanting you to use it for, something that uses a very high resolution display, I don't think is a very good choice, and it's definitely way overpriced for what you could get for just getting a regular Chromebook, which has a nice HD display, which I think is great for a Chromebook. But something like a Retina display on a Chromebook is not, I think, relevant right now.
So we're going to show you an example of how the mobile web is evolving. What we're about to show you is a preview which Warner Brothers and the developers at North Kingdom have put together for the upcoming Hobbit movie. And Ken is going to help me with this. We're going to get this up on screen. This is running on a Pixel right now. And as you can see, this is what the web shines for. They want a trailer. They want a preview for their movie. You're not going to write an app and get everyone to install an app on every one of their devices. You write a web experience, and you expect people to use it independent of the device they have. So it's on a Pixel. Thanks to HTML, 3D CSS, you can see it works great. Ken can touch and move around. The clouds look great. And it works really well. So far, not that surprising. But we're going to switch now from a Chromebook Pixel to a tablet. And we're going to show Chrome running on Nexus 10. And you can see there is no difference in the experience. A lot of what we're going to talk about today is the same capabilities which you're used to on the Chrome on desktop are all coming to Chrome on Android. So
he's using his laptop. Look at that! It's right there! He's using a laptop!
Nexus 10 as well.
It's not a Nexus 10!
Ken is going to start playing a game on a Nexus 10.
No. Definitely not a Nexus 10.
This game,
they said that they were switching to a tablet, and he's on a freaking Chromebook Pixel.
This is a new game.
What the heck? You lied to us. You lied.
And it's based on WebGL.
I'm mad.
Can we get the game up on screen? You can see it there.
They have the wrong screen.
We are running this again on Chrome on Nexus 10. And the reason we are able to play this game is thanks to WebGL. This wasn't possible on the web last year.
So you're showing off performance settings. Great!
Okay, so we have it up and running now.
Yawn.
Ken's goal is to avoid the trolls and not be eaten for dinner as a Hobbit. I guess he lost very, very
So it's a Hobbit game that apparently runs smoothly.
WebGL is something new to Chrome, and it makes this experience possible. You will see Google Maps team talk later in the presentation about how they're using WebGL. Let's show you one more thing. We're going to zoom in the map in Middle-earth in a place called Rivendell. And Ken is, again, all this is happening on mobile, Chrome on mobile. CAN is going to start.
Okay, now they're on
its way
mobile,
through.
so I can see the
Thanks to
menu
web audio
icons
APIs,
now. They weren't on
as
mobile when
he
they were playing that other game.
gestures around on
They're on
his
the
touch
freaking
screen,
Pixel.
the music changes.
You lied to me.
And you can see how the experience is very interactive.
You lied to me.
This is touch and web audio
Yes.
APIs.
You guys would get that
working
if you-
together on the web.
If you know YouTube, you'd probably get that.
I think you can really
Probably
start creating powerful experiences on the web and increasingly run it on phones and tablets. And we are making a lot of progress there. So I'm going to invite Linus Upson onto the
So
stage.
we're down
to
our
talk in
first
detail about
hour
all the APIs
of this,
we are adding to
although the
mobile
stream
web.
has only been
Linus.
going for about 32 minutes. I was a half an hour late because I was having a lot of technical difficulties. I couldn't get Wirecast to connect to YouTube, and it wouldn't do anything. So
So just a few weeks ago, the web
finally,
celebrated
guys, worked.
its
So
20th
now we have
birthday,
Linus on stage.
and the unique properties that transformed desktop
I forgot what he's talking
computing
about.
on the web.
I
The fact
assume it's
that
something with
everything
desktop
is a
computing.
link, everything is searchable by default. Makes it possible with just a few keystrokes for anyone in the world to find billions of different web pages. Applications, video, content is instantly discoverable and shareable. No need to install software, no need to update software. And on the Chrome team, our goal is to make the web better, both on desktop and on mobile. Better for users and better for developers. But that doesn't mean loading the browser up full of features. The browser is a means, not an end.
He's true right
So we're
there.
always trying to figure
You
out how
don't
to
need
make
to
the
load
browser
browsers up
smaller
with
and
tons
faster.
of features.
So we focus on three
Because most of the
things:
times you're not
speed,
using those features,
simplicity,
you're
and security.
using the browser.
And we're bringing that
And a
same
lot of
focus to
browsers
mobile.
don't get that. And that's where they fall
Let's take a look
short.
at speed to start with. When we first
So
launched Chrome,
I'm glad that somebody
its JavaScript
notices
engine
that
V8
and
was 20
will
times faster than anything else.
recognize that and actually
And in the 4.5 years
use
since, we've
that.
continued to make it faster still. Just in the last year, you can see we've improved the performance of V8 by almost 25% on the desktop. But the gains on mobile are even bigger.
So I've noticed with a lot of
In the
these
last
keynotes,
year,
a lot
we've seen the
of
performance
what they talk
improve
about
by
is
more than
statistics,
50%
statistics,
on
statistics,
mobile.
statistics, statistics.
These are the kinds of
We have
things-
gained this much percent, and it's basically a huge
These are the kinds of things that
inflammation
enable the
war,
next
basically,
generation of
on
mobile web,
look
of
how
mobile
good
web
we're doing.
applications.
But it's also nice for
Of course,
people
the V8 team
to
is always
know
looking to
that publicly if they
optimize
don't
new
know
use
that,
cases.
but from behind the
These people
scenes.
are
And
always pushing JavaScript in new
it seems
directions.
90%
Recently, Mozilla introduced
this is
a
how
very
good
clever
we're
way
doing, and
to
10%
compile
look
C
at
or
all
C++
this new
code
stuff.
down into
So
a
I
subset
bet
of
you could
JavaScript called
compress
asm.js.
this
has gotten a lot of
presentation
attention
into an
recently,
hour
because it allows you to then
if you were
access
just
all of that code
highlighting
in C and C++
the
and be able to run it on the web.
devices
And
or
this is
whatever you
JavaScript
wanted to
that's not
launch.
written by
That's
humans, it's
3
written by
hours long.
compilers, So it looks very different than the kind of JavaScript
Ay,
we've
ay, ay.
optimized for.
There is no TLD today, by the way.
In the last month alone,
This is
we've
it.
gotten over 2.4 times
I will,
speed boost.
unless there's something like
running this
major
asm.js
catastrophic.
code
There's
in
going to be no
V8,
TLD
and
today
there's
because it's going to
tons
be
more optimization
too much
to
for me to
come.
do.
But of course, JavaScript is only
So
one component of
JavaScript
speed.
speeds. That's
When
a
you download
lot
a
of
web
what
page,
websites
more
run
than
on today.
60%
So
bytes that come
it
across
being
your internet
fast
connection.
is definitely
And it's growing.
very important.
Developed an open source, royalty-free
I think I just heard the
compression
doorbell.
technology
So
called
I'll leave you guys
WebP.
with the stream and I'll have to go see what's at the doorbell.
So
So
these
here
two
you guys go.
images here, you see the one on the left is JPEG, the one on the right is WebP. They're both at the same quality level. But let's take a look at the sizes. The WebP image is 30% smaller than the JPEG image at the same quality. The benefits of this for image-rich websites is compelling. It saves on bandwidth, it saves on power, particularly on mobile computing devices, and we're seeing it adopted by properties like Google+, like Facebook, particularly on their mobile apps. Oh. So WebP supports not only lossless compression, but also lossy compression, transparency, color profiles, metadata, and unfortunately animated images as well. So you can use PNG, you can use WebP to replace JPEGs, PNGs, as well as animated GIFs.
I came back to see a
All right.
cat shooting lasers out of its eyes. Yep, there it is. What is that?
Of course, videos are a big part of the web.
Anyways, it's just there
By
was
the
just
end of
somebody
2012,
random at the door. So,
Over half of
anyways,
mobile internet traffic was video. We need to make videos smaller. With WebM, we've created an open.
It's not that you need to make videos smaller, it's that you need to create faster networks to be able to watch higher quality videos.
One of these is encoded in 264,
Compression
which
is
probably what
not
you're seeing
always
today
the
on
key,
web.
because when you
The other is
compress,
encoded in
you
WebM's
lose.
next generation codec, VP9.
And it is mobile
The bar chart shows you
screens,
the
so
real-time bit rate of the two images.
I don't
Two
care
videos.
as much,
When we get to the
but
end, we'll see what the size
if you
of
want to
the
make it
jar
a standard,
and how much
then I
longer
don't
VP9
know,
is.
because I
In
like
this particular video,
the highest quality that I can get. When I can see that zit on your face in the movie,
For this
I
particular
know
video,
I'm watching a
VP9
good movie
was
because it's
63%
that high
small,
quality.
running across a wide range
Not that
of
I've seen a zit on
wide
anybody's
range of
face in the movie,
resolutions.
but
we see about a
you get
50%
what I'm
reduction
saying,
in
of course.
size with VP9,
Hopefully.
which is a huge bandwidth saving. So if you're paying money for your mobile data plan, this is enormous for you.
I happen to be
It's
on an
great to see
unlimited
that
data
YouTube
plan
is going to
because
be
I've
rolling out support
grandfathered
for
in.
VP9
So
this year.
I guess I don't care as much about that,
Now,
but I
of
do
course, we
get
want
where they're
all
coming from
websites to take advantage of
when
this
they're
new
talking about,
technology.
hey, you don't have to, use all your data. Oh no, the stream froze. All right, well just twiddle our thumbs and wait. It kind of is. I'm him. Anyways, let's give it a quick refresh here.
Beyond
There we go.
just making
Just need a quick
web
refresh.
pages faster, we want to make things
right.
faster and simpler for users.
So reduce
One of the
data
hardest
usage.
things you
Great
can do
on
your
mobile.
phone
I think that's
today
excellent
is buy
on
something.
mobile. Don't get me wrong, that's
The average
excellent on
checkout
mobile.
process is about 21 steps on your phone. So it's no surprise that the abandonment rate of
So
shopping carts on mobile phones is around 97%. We can do much better than this. So by building on
he is
the
so totally
existing
right. You don't know how many
HTML5
times I'm like,
autocomplete spec,
I want to buy something on my phone. Oh my god, look at all the settings that I have to do on my phone. I've totally been in that situation and it sucks because
So now,
you either have to
when you
struggle
come to
through it
check out on
or
the website, you press checkout,
go
you see this form.
to the
Chrome already knows all
actual
of your
website
payment
on the
information.
computer
It shows it to you in a
and
form.
deal
You
with
look
it,
at and
which
say,
I don't really like.
Yep, that's what I want, and you click submit and you're done. So this is going to make shopping from your phone much, much easier. And there's a session, if you want to learn more about this, later today. It's called, I bet it has payments in the name. I forgot what it is, but it's on the calendar for today. Standardizing payments on the web.
I forgot what one of their
Okay, so
titles were. Very nice.
not just programs, not just users, but we also want to make developers more productive and make life simpler for them as well. So for the last couple of years, we've been working on some new fundamental technology in the web platform called web components. For the first time, you're going to be able to build your own HTML tags. You can build your own HTML tags by taking smaller bits of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and putting them into a first-class component. And that component can be reshared between applications, between phones, between tablets, between desktops, so that you can be
The only problem that I see with HTML, your own custom HTML tags, is that when something comes depreciated, you could
to natively take advantage
break
of components.
everything.
In this
But if
toolkit,
you're
it
working
really
in
captures
standardized
the modern,
HTML,
elegant design
there's
philosophy you've been seeing in a lot of the recent
places
Google
where
applications,
there's
particularly
redundancy,
mobile
so
ones.
you don't break everything. But if you
This toolkit
make this
project actually has
custom
been open source since the
HTML
beginning, and
tagged
some of you have stumbled upon it and found
code
it.
and then it becomes
But it's still
depreciated
very
in a couple
early.
years, well then
But the vision for it is clear. We want
what are you gonna
this
do
elegant
when
UI
everything
framework
just
that
goes-
works across all form factors, all devices.
yeah.
And we put together a short video to give you an
Yay,
idea
video.
about where we're going with the toolkit. Let's play the video.
I can see where that would be cool because you could save time if you loaded in maybe something you knew. But then again, I think that takes away from really what HTML was really set up to do. So I'm not entirely sure that I like it.
It's not ready for consumption by regular developers. But if you're interested in
You just said it's not ready for consumption by regular developers. And I can see why. Because you would have to have all of this stuff that would maybe hurt your brain if you
now,
did
we've
it.
been talking today a lot about
Let me adjust the blinds
going
back here and see if I
across all
can
of your
help
different
it any
screens.
better.
So why not build a fun experience
I'll leave you
to
with
show that
that.
So Racer is a multiplayer, multi-screen experiment, and all you need to play is Chrome. Regardless of device, Android or iOS, phone or tablet, you just need to click a link and get started. So we've asked some volunteers to come help us show it off. So while they're coming up, why don't we take a closer look at the devices here. We have a ringer on the team. This is Arno Weber, who manages the Chrome mobile team. He's an actual race car driver. We'll see how he does in the electronic form. So this game is a simple little racing game. I don't know if you remember little slot car racing games when you were a kid. You pull the trigger, zoom around the track, but if you go too fast, the car spins out. That's essentially what these guys are going to be trying to do. So are we ready to switch to the overhead? Thanks. So Ken, take it away.
Okay, so this game is really simple. Once I start the game, all you have to do is press down to accelerate and let go to decelerate. Basically, when you go around the corners, you don't want to be going too fast. So I'm going to start a race here, and I'm going to join it from these devices. Okay, let me click start. You know, you guys look like professionals, so I'm going to click ridiculous. No. We're going to go ridiculous on this one, guys.
I predict lots of cars will fly off the track.
All right, so are you going to pick your cars? Are you going to use this one? Okay, then I'm going to use the iOS device and tap when you're ready. Let's get this game started. You might not want to hold on yet. Get a little ahead of ourselves.
So they're playing a game over 4 different devices. One of them from a different manufacturer, or maybe 2 from a different manufacturer. So basically, they're doing some sort of racing game where it's going across each of the screens. That's kind of cool. I'll give you that. That is cool. But I don't see myself doing that anywhere in the future. And it might be just like one small little thing that maybe would happen, but again, I would not put 4 devices together just to be able to play a game. If I was going to want a larger screen to play a game, I'm going to go to my television and play on an Xbox, or go to my computers and play a computer game, but I'm not going to play with 4 different devices lined up with each other. I'm not going to do that.
This is just as hard as I remember those little racing games as a kid.
Yes. Whew. That was a close one. You can keep this. 2 people. Are you guys giving up? Still 2 people not finished.
Still 2 people out there?
That's all right. It's all right. I think we got enough.
Who came
we got
in
the
first?
point.
Ken.
Yes.
Congratulations. He's been practicing this all week.
No.
Anyway, thank you all for helping with that. Anyway, we hope you're all excited, as we are, about where the mobile web is headed. And to celebrate the first 20 years of the web, we put together this short film showing how far we've come.
How far we've come. Or however that song goes. Hey, look, code. I'll put this at full screen just because it's a cool video. it is amazing how far we've come with mobile. Definitely,
It's inspiring
and
to see the 20-year
HTML,
story
of
of
course,
the web.
with all their
It's
touch
truly one of the most
settings
amazing software
and
platform we've seen in
Ajax and
life.
HTML and
Before we move
CSS.
on,
It's a lot of
let's get a
stuff, and I think
picture
it's
of
really
the
cool.
pixel,
And I'm going to
back up
sneeze.
on the screen. I'm also going to go pick one up. As I said earlier, our goal behind the Pixel was to literally build the best laptop possible out there. You guys have any idea why we have it up
Sorry
on the
about that.
screen and I'm holding one up in my hand?
So he's got a laptop in his hand. What are they doing? Let's see what they're doing.
We're going to give each and every one of you a brand new Pixel.
Everybody's getting a
And after
Pixel!
today, It's not ready to
Why
launch
didn't
yet.
I sign up to go to
It's
Google
only
I/O? I
the
swear,
Keynote.
they give you
But we're very
more
excited.
than
Our
your
goal behind the
ticket
Pixel
was
to
worth
make
back
sure
when you go to these things. Next year I'm signing up for
developers
I/O
had
and
a chance
getting
to
to
get the
I/O.
web ready for the next
So
generation experience.
everybody
with
at the
full
conference
touch
just
and
got a
high
Chromebook
resolution.
Pixel.
So I can't
Great.
wait to see what you all do with it. We're incredibly excited. A lot of us use it as our day-to-day computer.
Ay, ay, ay.
So we've talked about Android and Chrome, and our goal behind these platforms is to make sure developers can build amazing experiences on top of these platforms. We want to now give you a real-life example of how this all comes together. And we're going to do that by talking about education briefly. A lot of us at Google are deeply passionate about education because it's an area where we can really see the impact technology can have on people's lives, especially the lives of children. And so we are investing a lot in education, and for us, the journey started with Google Apps. Google Apps are incredibly popular in schools around the world. There are over 25 million users of Google Apps in over 200 countries all around
I'm a
the world.
Google Apps user,
In schools,
although
in
I'm looking to
universities,
switch
and
off
so on.
Google Apps.
Just in the United
Because I rely
States,
too much on Google.
74 of the top 100 universities fully run on Google Apps.
My university,
Seven
unfortunately,
of the
does
top
not work
eight- seven
on
of the
Google
8
Apps.
Ivy
They
League
work
universities.
on
For those of you who are from Dartmouth,
Outlook.
you may want to start nudging your IT administrator there. But 7 of the 8 Ivy League schools use Google Apps. Large public school systems like Chicago, etc., completely run on Google Apps. And the momentum is incredible. But we want to take it a step further. What we want to do is to bring both Android and Chrome into educational institutions around the
Android
world
and
so
Chrome.
that both Google and all of
A
you can build applications to really change how computing
education-
and technology is used in schools. We are beginning to invest
Google
a
Chrome?
lot for Android in education, and we want to
Distribution.
give you an update. To do that, I'm going to invite Chris Yerga back on stage.
So Chris Yerga is back on stage? Is that how you say his name? Yerga? Yerga. Sorry. Horrible with names.
Thanks, Sundar. So as we've heard, Android is growing incredibly fast, and its momentum is changing everything. But there's still a big part of all of our lives and the lives of our kids that mobile technology hasn't really touched. When I go visit my kid's classroom, it looks pretty much exactly like it did when I went to school.
So,
So a bunch of us in
education,
Android asked
computers
educators,
in the
why is there so
classroom.
much talk about technology
Got it.
in schools, but so little impact? And what we heard was really interesting. Teachers told us that in education, there's a huge gap between what's possible with technology and what's practical, especially with mobile technology. And then they told us it was Google's job to fix this.
That's Google's job.
Google should make it affordable to give every student a tablet, and Google should make it so that it's not so
Google
crazy to
should,
manage all
and
those
Google
devices.
probably
And
will.
Google
I bet you. Right now.
finally
Here we
should
go.
make it way easier to find the best tools and content from a really diverse set of developers and get that content to the right students. We agreed. So today I'm really excited to announce a new initiative which will make it easy and affordable for schools to put Android tablets in the hands of all their kids and to load them up with powerful educational content and tools. And I want to give you a sneak peek of one of the key parts of this effort, Google Play for Education, built from the ground
Google
up
Play for
to meet
Education.
the
There you
unique
go.
content
A
needs of educators.
Google
Let's take a look.
based thing. That is education-wise. Which is kind of cool. An education-based store.
So the first thing
Perfect.
you'll notice is that Google Play for Education is organized by categories educators care about, namely subject matter and grade level. For example, say I'm the K-6 math subject matter expert in my school district, and I want to find an educational app that my incoming kindergartners can use to sharpen their problem-solving skills. So I click on math, kindergarten, and immediately I see a bunch of apps from a diverse set of partners, including NASA and PBS. Also, each app has been recommended by a group of educators as useful for teaching kindergarten math. This is key because teachers trust other teachers.
So it's a teacher-approved
kids
network.
numbers,
Pretty
and
good.
math,
So you're not just getting
IntelliJoy is
random
really
apps.
good.
You have
I'll start with the free version. Remember, I'm not
approved
shopping for
everything.
myself here because this school is using Google Apps for Education, and every student has a Google account. I can just enter the name of the Google group of these students, and bam, all 500 kindergartners in my district will instantly get this app on their tablets.
That is very nice. A lot of cool key features for distributing and getting
Now, say a few weeks have gone by,
applications
and I'm
on
really impressed with
devices
math
in
skills
the
that
masses.
Kids are learning from kids' numbers and math, so I want to upgrade to the paid version so the kids can go deeper. Rather than enter a credit card, which is not how schools work, I can just charge these 500 licenses against a balance funded by a school purchase order. And one more thing, notice that the store doesn't just have apps. You can discover books and YouTube educational videos and push them to Android tablets in exactly the same way.
Very nice features. I'm sure a lot of educators are very happy.
Pilot sites like
about
Kittredge
this.
Charter School and Hillsborough Township Public Schools are already going crazy for this. 6 elementary schools in New Jersey used 550 different third-party apps during a single day in our pilot, all of them discovered and downloaded by teachers in Google Play for Education. Multiply that pilot by millions of classrooms in the US, and you can see there's a huge opportunity here for educators, students, and for you as developers. So this is where you come in. We're doing the heavy lifting of building Play for Education, bringing it to the schools, making it easy for them to find great content and buy it in bulk. Now you can focus on what you do best, creating awesome and innovative educational content. We're going to be launching Google Play for Education in the fall, but starting this summer, we'll be ready to accept your app submissions. Check out our developer microsite at developer.android.com/edu, where we posted guidelines on how to build.
So I
awesome
wonder
future apps.
if
Also,
they're
you can
going
find
to
us at the
expand
Education
this out
Sandbox
to
here
the
at
college realm
Thanks,
to
everyone.
when you're talking about applications and bringing college-level applications to students.
great
I'd
to
love to
see
see that because I am a student,
making a
so
foray
I'd
into
like to
education
see an
being used a lot.
Android-based
We've already
education
been doing
store
this with Chromebooks.
for colleges.
Chromebooks are really ideally suited for education because there's literally no setup, no administration. You open the device, you're good to go, and you have the power of web within you.
So Chromebooks and education.
Just
See, we're going to
last
see
year
now
alone,
Chromebooks
we
geared
have
towards
over 1,000
exactly
schools in the United
education.
States running
So
Chromebooks.
again,
In the 4
mass
months
deployment,
this year,
which I
we've
think
added 2,000
Chromebooks
schools,
would be
and
great
Chromebooks are going
student
mainstream in
computers
education
because they're not
in the United States,
complicated
just like Google Apps.
like maybe
And the
Windows
area where
computers.
this
And
all
if you're a
came
first
together
user,
beautifully
it's
is
easy to
Malaysia.
pick up. You have
So I wanna
everything
talk about that
right
for a
there.
minute. Malaysia
That
has a nationalized
is where
education system.
Chromebooks are.
They have 10,000 schools in the
Education
country
with Chromebooks.
distributed, several of them in poor rural areas. So they really wanted to provide 4G connectivity throughout to all 10,000 schools to level the playing field. And they are deploying Google Apps along with Chromebooks in primary and secondary schools so that they can bring computing in their schools. So let's take a look at what they're doing.
Malaysia has so much to offer. There's so much untapped potential. Just to walk into one of these small villages and look at the eyes of those children at that school, you see that spark, little fire in their eyes. There's this whole world out there that would allow you to experience learning beyond what you ever thought possible.
And a lot of our students don't have internet access. A lot of them were just left behind.
In Malaysia, we place a huge investment in the education of our young children. We're providing 4G connectivity to all schools across the country. And the fact that we can spread it across 10,000 schools is amazing. Learning had to be anytime, any place. You didn't have to be in a state-of-the-art classroom, but you could be with a Chromebook sitting in a field and experiencing world-class learning. It is so exciting to be a part of education in Malaysia today. This power that you place in a child's hand and you say, the web is your school. Go and learn.
So that's great. And I think the thing is that Its scalability is where Google needs to
to me
come
and
in
to a
at.
lot of us,
They
this is
need
what
to
the
figure out
journey
how to
of computing is
scale
about.
fast. 'Cause that's
What we are doing
it's
in
not just
education,
Google's fault. It's
power
also
platforms like Android and Chrome. We can do it for
schools,
users
whoever is
everywhere,
receiving them, is their
including the other 5 billion
scalability
people on
of
the
bringing in Chromebooks.
Android
So
and Chrome are designed for not just
it's
Google,
great,
but for you all
but
to create amazing
it needs to
We're gonna
bring
switch
in
now and
a
talk about what we are
certain
doing on
aspects
Google,
of
what we call as the best
scalability
of
that
Google
not a lot
on top of Android and Chrome.
will have
We're going
right
to hear
now.
from 3 teams, from the Google Plus team, from the Search team, and from the Maps team. And we'll get things started with Vic Gandotra and Google Plus.
Among the most basic of human needs is the need to connect with others. With a smile or laugh, we connect with people every single day. But the meaning of our real-world connections often gets lost online. And so began the Google Plus project to help make connecting online more like we do in real life. So you can share the things you love with the people you love and get closer to the people you care about, make discoveries, explore the stuff you're into, and get together.
Touchdown confirmed. Proceed.
So everybody say hi. That's the whole world.
Can I hug you?
Yeah. We're the first ones that are doing it like this. It's history.
You guys have the greatest technology at your fingertips. I have a boy. Thanks, everybody. It's a celebration, world. Y'all is invited.
Google's Plus is their key right now into social.
And millions
So Vic is back on stage talking about it.
In just under 2 short years. And we can think of no better way to say thank you than to continue to innovate.
Hangouts are kind of depicted in a different way in Google Promotions than I believe that they actually are
Today we're introducing 41
happening,
new features
unfortunately.
across 3 major areas.
So I think a lot of those
of
Google Plus things that they have are
First,
staged. So
a newly designed stream,
new Google Plus
a new
features.
Hangouts application, and a fundamental
So new stream, new Hangouts, new photos.
We have a
There you
lot
go,
to talk
right
about.
there.
Let's get started. Let's begin with the stream. Now, it's no surprise that mobile devices are increasingly prevalent and important
41
in our
new
lives.
features, I believe you
it's
said.
the computer that's with us all the time. And so the Google Plus team has spent a lot of time making sure that that core stream experience on mobile absolutely rocks. And the feedback has been fantastic. And so today, we're taking that multi-column design and bringing it to lots more devices. Yes, from your phone to your tablet and even your desktop, you're going to see a newly designed stream. We're also fixing a long-standing problem with today's social streams, and that's they're flat.
Uh-oh.
It's very easy to see a long list of things that have been shared with you. Like
This is Google Plus is kind of trying to fix their 4-minute average of being on Google Plus and then leaving. So let's see what they're going to try to do. It's probably going to be a cards-like feature that you see on a lot of the Google and Nexus devices right now. Probably, most likely.
What you're looking at is Google Plus at this morning. What you're going to see start rolling out later today is the new Google Plus, which looks like this.
Wow, that is a huge change, and it looks fantastic.
You can see we've taken that multi-column design and brought it to the desktop and really made something
Definitely, like I just said, it's from
dynamic,
Nexus
meaning
now.
depending
Let me see
upon
if I
the size
have
of
it. I
your
probably
screen,
don't,
it can
but
either be 1 column, 2 column,
Nope.
or 3 columns. And we've made sure to give
It looks
you choice.
nice, though.
So if
I
you
will
go
give
under
them
the More
that. It
menu,
looks
you're always able to go
nice.
to a single column if that's what you prefer. Of course, in this multi-column design, we've made sure that posts like photos and videos can span multiple columns.
That's nice too.
So you get something that's truly
Videos and
immersive.
photos span
And we made sure that it's fast,
columns.
fluid, and
Again,
fun. And so
great.
we put delightful animations throughout the product. For example, a share box that animates out, menus that slide in and out to get out of the way, and even cards and that flip and fade beautifully. Yeah, it's
That
pretty amazing.
is some fantastic looking
But it's not just about the design.
profiles. I
It's
like
about
that. That is something I will look
As
forward to, that I
mentioned earlier,
definitely
it's very
am looking
difficult
forward
to go
to.
deeper on a topic or an interest you care
So
about.
no more white
We
space
think
in
we've
Google
solved this
now.
problem, and today we're introducing related hashtags. What we'll do is we'll analyze the content of a post, and Google will put on the appropriate hashtag. How does that work? Well, let's take a look. Here's a post about the
Some
San
people are saying it now
Giants
looks like
baseball team.
Pinterest a
It's
little
not
bit,
just
which I
about
can
them.
see that,
It's about Buster
but that's
posing
how a
for
lot of
particular
people are going
player
now, with
as
multiple
well.
columns
And
that are
note in the top,
staggered. So,
we automatically tag that post, and we know it's about those two topics. But that's only half the magic. We also then rank and search the entire universe of Google Plus content, and we rank it just for you. So
ranking
when Matt clicks
content
on one of those
just for
hashtags, watch
me.
what happens.
I'm not
We
sure I
flip
like
the
that
card
because I
over,
like
and we then
who
show
I'm
you
following.
related items.
I like
From the
seeing
most
that in a
important sources
recent
and social
pattern,
proximity.
not
Amazing,
what
isn't
they
it?
think is hot for me. Because I think that a lot of content that I might have would have liked
Now,
gets
if you think
lost.
that's impressive,
So that's what I don't like.
let's take a
is
look
that
at
they
another
think
one of
that they
these
know
posts.
what I want to see,
In
which
this
sometimes
case,
they do,
one of the noted
but
photographers
sometimes
on our
I
service
miss a
has
lot.
posted a picture of Paris, in particular the Eiffel Tower. Nowhere in his post or in the comments is the word Eiffel Tower. But if you notice, Google has automatically hashtagged this with the Eiffel
Auto
Tower. How did we
hashtagging.
do that?
Right.
Well, we did image analysis and combined with the knowledge graph that recognizes important landmarks, and Google knew that this was about the Eiffel Tower. So if you click, why, you can just go deeper and click through other posts
So
about
you
the
can,
Eiffel Tower.
I'll give them that. That is very cool. You can expand into posts
Now,
deeper
of course,
without
we
leaving the
deeply respect
page.
the content producer.
I like
And
that.
so you always have the
I
option
really
to tell
like
Google,
that.
either
That
on
you
a
can
particular post
go
or
into
globally,
pages and
whether
posts
you
and,
want your
start
content to have this
going
amazing
around and
related
not
hashtags
having
feature.
to
And if we ever
to
get it wrong
leave where
and have
you
the
are.
wrong
Because that's one of the biggest
hashtags,
things
we
for me.
can always
If
exit
I'm
out.
in Google Plus or in Facebook,
either
something like
case,
that, and I
we
want to
think
go
what we
off
built
somewhere,
here
and I
is
click on
a
a link
stream
and it
that's about
takes me
design
not to a
and
new
depth,
page, but
really
to
allowing you
the
to go
same
deeper
page,
on
getting
your
back to
pages.
where I am. That's one of
Now,
the
we don't have
hugest
time to
things
show
that
you all of the
pisses me
features.
off. Oh. Pissed me off so much my camera freaked
There's
out.
just too many to talk about today,
right.
but we'll be rolling this out this afternoon. We
So it's
hope
rolling
that
out this
you'll
afternoon.
Absolutely love it.
Awesome.
Okay, now let's
Awesome,
talk
awesome,
about
awesome.
Hangouts. You know, at Google, we have a
So I will
point of
keep
view
refreshing
about
Google
software
Plus
and
until I get the
technology.
new
Namely, that it
layout.
should get out of the way and allow people to do what they do best. That's live, learn, and love. That was true even when we started Google Plus. You know, other sites when we started often asked you to think of your relationships as either friends or not friends. And we argued that was not reflective of real life. In real life, you don't have this, you have this. And so we built circles as a core part of Google Plus. And we're happy to report that today, more than half of
I
all
like
the
circles.
sharing that's done on Google
I
Plus
feel
is
like I
done
need
to
to
private circles.
curate them
Well, that
a
same
little
dynamic
more
exists in the
than
world of
what I
real-time
have been.
communications. When you think about a real-time
So
communication, somebody you want
I
to talk
definitely
to,
need to go back to
you
my
don't think about
circles and
wanting to talk
start
to a computer. You want to talk to a person.
start
And yet, despite
really
50
kind of focusing
years
in on
of
them,
work
because I
in
think
real-time
that's definitely
communication
what
products,
Google is
we
bringing to the
still
future is
are
your
stuck
circle
with
integration. So
gadgets
definitely
that
need to do
get in the
something
way.
about that.
Think for a moment about some of the real-time communications products, the
That a
choices
guy with
that
a
you
wearing
have.
computer.
Some are very nice. They work on one platform. So if you think about your friend, you have to ask yourself, are they on a particular operating system? Why should OSs matter? People matter. Or think about other choices that are very popular on mobile. Fantastic ways to communicate on mobile, but if
So-
your brother is at work on a desktop or a laptop,
Here we
why
go
should he
with
be left out? Or
multi-platform,
there are other solutions that do group
multi-device
video very, very well. and
fitting
messaging.
in and
But
compatibility.
it's
That's
very
one of the biggest
difficult
things
to
for
do
developers, I think, is
Frankly, even Google's own
becoming
services have
compatible
been fragmented,
with
and,
everything out there, because it's
and
it's almost
confused at
impossible to
times.
become
What we wanna
compatible
do is
with everything
fill
out there.
All the boxes.
Very
Because
hard.
when we fill in all the boxes,
Very
we
hard.
believe finally technology can just go away, and people can focus on what makes them the happiest, and that's just hanging out. So we're introducing today a new application, Hangouts. And we think we've built
new
a
Google Plus
product that is
Hangouts.
about conversations that last.
Conversations that last. So does that mean constant
Let me
Hangouts?
show you the product. Now, as Matt goes to the demo here, the first thing you'll notice on Matt's Android phone is the new icon, a standalone app.
So it's a new new app on
Matt will go ahead
Android.
and click
Okay.
on Hangouts and open up the application. Now, you're looking here at a list of conversations, not contacts. Some of those conversations are one-on-one.
So
some of those conversations are
it's
group
text
conversations. But the primary pivot, the focus is
confused.
on those conversations. Now, if Matt wants to get to his contacts, maybe he wants to add someone, it's one tap away. You can see Google will rank the important people that he normally talks to and make that easily available for either a message or a video call. But let's go back to the conversations. There's several attributes about these conversations that I want to talk about. The first is my favorite, and that is these conversations can be long-lasting. So as Matt goes back in time, why you're able to see
looks
that
like text
conversation.
messaging.
Imagine that you have your
That's all I gotta
favorite
say. It
conversation
looks
for
exactly
many
like
months or a
text
year.
messaging.
There's the holiday party. There's the vacation you took together. There's important.
What else do I have to
moments,
say?
like the birth of a child.
Call it like I
Those
see
things are
it.
stored with you, even as you change devices in those long-running conversations. Of course, we give you the ability to turn off history. Of course, we give you the ability to delete those things. But having the ability to save those conversations is, I think, delightful and amazing. Another aspect is that the conversations are rich and alive. Your photos.
One thing that I
stored in
did see, and I
albums.
want to go back a little second, the
Amazing.
Galaxy
This thing is
S4
not even
that's
3 months
unlocked
old,
running
it's already
the
learned to
broad
Facebook.
Nexus
Okay.
Google platform.
But all
I
the images
would
that
get
you
one
share
if
as a
it worked on
family are
Verizon.
all right
Unfortunately, it
there.
doesn't work on
In
Verizon.
addition to beautiful images that are easily stored and saved, the conversation feels alive. Look at the bottom. You can there see, as people join, they show up. As they're typing, they animate out. You can see exactly where someone has read to. It really feels like you're in
Someone,
the same
you
room.
can see where someone has
That's
read to. Oh
delightful.
dear, that's like
By the
privacy
way, you're looking at
concerns.
it on the web, you're looking at it on Android, and you're looking at it on iOS.
So you're looking at it in
all
3
available
areas:
today.
Android, iOS, and online. I think it's cool. I'm wondering how it's working on the web, though. If it's an application or if it's like a replacement of their
And by
Google
the way,
Talk.
two other points. One is a point that Hugo made. I think you're going to love how the notifications are all synced. So if you wipe a notification from the desktop,
That is what I do
or
like on
or
any
Android,
platform
it'll
is
go away on another
syncing
device. It's
notifications,
beautiful. I think you'll
syncing
like that. But my favorite
everything
feature,
so that you can pick up
sorry
exactly
about
where you
that.
left
Let's go
off.
back to the
That's
demo.
what I like.
The one other feature I didn't talk about that was pretty critical, which is at Google, we've always believed that the best way to do real-time communications is face-to-face-to-face. And so in that conversation, Matt can tap on that video icon, and everyone in that conversation will be dropped into a video chat. There you can see Matt, he's into the video chat, and everyone's being dropped in. Group video at no charge. Isn't that fantastic?
Group video, going after Skype. They're going after Skype right now. That's what that is. Because they dropped, so
let's go
Skype
back
made
to the
group messaging or group video chats a paid feature now. Well,
Okay,
now
let's
it's
switch
free from
topics,
Google.
And finally, let's talk
Who
about
needs Skype
photos.
anymore?
Photography can be a very rewarding experience.
Here we go.
I know
Photos.
for me, it captures the most important moments of my life. I remember when I was on the beach and I asked my kids to stand together to take a picture. I didn't know my son was going to wrap his arms around my daughter. I didn't know my daughter was going to reach up and hold his hand. But for the rest of my life, I'm going to picture them like this. Despite the fact that he's now taller than me, that's how I imagine it. I'm not alone. You too have amazing images that are the most important, precious memories of your life. But if we're honest with each
Now we're moving
other,
on to
we'll
images.
also admit that photography is very labor intensive. It takes a lot of time to organize, edit, enhance, upload, and share your photos. Time
So now we're talking about
many of us
editing
don't
photos.
have.
Great.
At Google, we think we can give you some of your time back. By combining your camera with our cloud, we can do some of those labor-intensive tasks automatically.
That's kind of one of the things that I've always hated about.
In fact,
that I've
today,
kind of
I'd
liked
like
and
to
hated at the
introduce the
same
notion
time
of
is those
Google,
auto-enhance
Google's
features.
data centers.
Great, auto-enhance, press it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I like it, but sometimes I
But when
don't.
you think of the cloud,
So,
most of us think of
Now it's photo
backup.
editing in the cloud.
But today we're going to
and
go
kind of
beyond
low
that.
level, I guess.
And we're going to talk about
editing.
3 exciting new areas that combine
So new
the data
features with
center,
photos
Google's cloud with photography.
that allow.
But before I do that, let me just begin with what you already know, backup. Now, since we've launched Google+, we've always backed up your photos. Unlimited, all your photos at standard size. And a few months ago, we introduced the ability for you to choose an option where we would upload your photos not at standard size, but at full resolution. And we offered 5 gigabytes free. This week, we announced that we're going from 5 gigabytes to 15 gigabytes.
So basically, this is. You can see a lot of people are wearing Google Glass in the audience.
Why does full resolution matter? Well, what you're looking at here is an 8 megapixel.
So they're talking now. They're showing
8 megapixel shot,
about how
you can
photos
clap if you want.
look
Go ahead.
in different services. So I'll switch over to that. Show you guys.
I love it when you clap, and I haven't even made the point on the slide. It's great. But I think you get it. You know, 8 megapixels is pretty common. Some cell phones, like the Galaxy S4, go up to 13 megapixels. And when you have an important image, you don't want 619 pixels
There you go. So,
or 1024
higher
or
resolution photos.
2048. You
Great.
want all the pixels
I'm happy about
because
that.
some
Definitely happy
memories
about
are
that.
not meant to be downsized. And we give you that ability on Google+. Let's move on. Now let's talk about highlight. What you're looking at is 686 of my vacation photos from my trip to New Zealand. Now, there's some beautiful images in there, images I want to share, but I don't have time to pick them out because my
Google is going to try to
over.
pick out your best images now?
Now,
maybe?
I suspect you've been in the same boat. You know, it takes time to do all this stuff. Google can pick the best pictures for you. We can go from these 686 pictures to these. It's remarkably accurate. Now, go ahead. You can clap.
Remarkably accurate. I don't know. I'd have to test that out because there are some photos where I think that they're the worst, but then I edit them a tad, and then they become like my best photos ever. So
some of the things that we do is we look for images that are blurry, and they're not going to make the highlights. We look for images that are duplicates. I took 4 images of the same mountain. We'll pick one. We look for images that are not the greatest exposure, and they're unlikely to make your highlights. Or we even do amazing things, like we recognize the Eiffel Tower. We can recognize in your images if you're at an important landmark. In this case, this is a beautiful shot of Queenstown.
And we star important landmark.
The highlights.
So not everything.
We also analyze to see if there are people there. Are the people happy? Are they smiling? Might make the highlights. Our machine learning algorithms have also been trained by literally hundreds of human raters, so that the machine learning algorithms have now begun to account for aesthetics, for human taste. What do people find beautiful? And we're able to boost that.
Feeling Terminator-ish right now. The computers are learning. They know what you want.
Family circle. And we apply appropriate social boosts so that your wife and your children are in the highlights. It's absolutely amazing. We think you're going to love it, and it's going to save you time.
You're going to love it. Think. They thought everybody was going to love the Nexus Q. They ended up not selling a lot of
out this evening. This is the actual product, the desktop version. You'll note that we'll give you your highlights, and right there at the bottom, you could always click and see all the other images as well. So
we'll have to test that out. I'll have to go out and test that out because I'm not sure if that will work very well.
Your images. One of my favorite photographers famously said, "You don't take a photograph, you make it." And if you know
you don't take a photograph, you make it. How original.
Professionals can
it's
take
Ansel
a good
Adams,
image
so
and
I'll
make
give him
it
that.
Amazing, because they have access.
I wasn't
to
looking when he
tools
said
like
that, but I thought he was quoting someone of current.
Require lots of skills.
It's Ansel Adams.
That
It's
run
fine.
on expensive
I'll
machines
accept that.
that take lots of time, and you can do amazing things.
So
the problem is that for the average person, these
Lightroom
tools
clone
often look like
in the cloud?
this to them, like a
Maybe.
bewildering set of knobs that they don't understand.
I don't know.
Today,
I like my Lightroom.
We're introducing Auto Enhance.
Auto Enhance. There you go. Look what I said. I said Auto Enhance. There
There
you go. Auto Enhance. The best / worst button ever.
And make it look like this.
I like it, but then there's that time where
We're going
it
to show you
doesn't
some of the
really
things
work.
that we do. Things
I don't
like
know.
tonal distribution,
Still
skin
not
softening,
sure yet.
noise reduction, structure, vignetting, red eye reduction, so much that we do. And we don't have time in this keynote to show you all of them, but we're going to highlight a few. Let's begin with tonal distribution. All of us have taken pictures that are over or underexposed. You might think Google would find the middle ground. We do better than that. Remember, our algorithms take into account human taste. So we can take an image like this and just make it perfect. Let me show you another example. Let's talk about skin softening. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance because you're going to see a huge photo of me.
A huge photo of Vic. Okay, I gotta zoom in so we can see the huge
start that with me.
photo of Vic.
Now, let's talk about recognizing people's faces. If you have an inexpensive phone or even an inexpensive camera, those devices can recognize faces. But the state of the art today is to put a rectangle around a face and say, we think there's a face there. We've had several breakthroughs at Google where we're now able to deeply recognize the human face and skin. We can tease apart exactly where is the hairline. What are the eyes, the teeth? Is the person wearing jewelry? Do they have glasses on? And we can separate all that out. That breakthrough means that when we do the other effects, things like structure, the tonal enhancement, why we can do something different on the clouds, the water, the mountains, and we can treat the
Vic's
human
face is looking very good right
like a
now.
professional would in a tool. Now, let's
Sorry,
talk about
Vic.
one of those
You look
effects. Let's talk
fine.
about
I swear.
skin softening.
I swear.
Now, how many of you
look
like
fine.
your passport or your driver's license photos?
I hate my passport and
Well,
driver's
why
license
not?
photos.
Because photographs often exaggerate our flaws. In real life, when you look at me or your friend,
I had
you
big
don't
bags
see
under
every
my
one of the
eyes when I
flaws.
got
But in
my
a picture, you see
passport
all of
photo,
them.
so it looks like I'm
In
just
fact,
so
we're gonna make it
tired.
worse. Let's zoom in on this picture a little.
No, we're zooming in on the picture.
Like I
We
said,
see
I
his
use my nose
forehead.
so I wouldn't offend anyone else. Wrinkles, right? But chances are when you're talking to me, you don't stare at them.
Oh,
Watch what
wait,
happens
the
when you
UPS guy
apply
is here.
skin
I'm
softening.
probably going to get a doorbell ring in a couple
Just
seconds.
gently tone down. Let's zoom all the way out. That's the original image. That's with skin softening enhancements. Just gently,
Skin softening,
beautifully enhance.
I think, is a
We think you're
catch-22
going to love
because
it when
I
we
use
apply
it to
this
soften
across
up
the
faces, but if
Let's
you
talk about noise
overuse
reduction.
it, the faces look
maybe you've
too
taken a picture in low
smooth.
light.
I like definition in the
particularly
face,
with
but I think a
selfie.
lot of people will
You get
overdo
grain,
that smoothing,
noise on your
and it
image.
makes it
Look at
look
the sky
really
in this
weird.
photograph. Well, our
It
noise
looks like a
reduction
woman who's
filters
put
can
too much
automatically take
makeup
something
on.
that looks like this
Is sometimes when I
make
see
it look like that.
smooth
Pretty amazing.
photos. So, I don't know.
Let's talk about structure. Here's a picture that I took when I was in New Zealand. I remember that image having more life. It was more vivid. Well, what
Doorbell.
happened? Well, the
I'll be right back.
palette
I'll leave you guys with
balanced
the
everything
video.
out so it became flat. A professional would go with flat. A professional would go into a tool and they would add a lot more structure to the sky. We can do that automatically. And so we can take an image that looks like this and auto-enhance it to look like that. Okay? There's obviously lots more that we don't have time to talk about, but we are going to bring up a special tool, a debugging tool. And we're going to tease apart some of these effects and show you how they layer on to make an image awesome. So here's an image, untouched, out of the camera, and we're going to start layering on these enhancements. Let's begin with tonal enhancement. Okay? Let's add some skin softening. Before and after on the skin softening. Now let's add some structure for the clouds. Let's add a vignette to emphasize the human face. And let's go before and then auto-enhanced by Google. Pretty amazing, isn't it? One more example. A beautiful landscape photograph of Queenstown that I took. I think it's pretty great. Let's see what Google can do. Once again, tonal enhancement. Doesn't need any skin softening here. Structure. A little bit around the edges, darken the edges. Look at the original, and what Google did. Amazing. All you have to do is upload your images, and we will apply all of this for you on all of your photographs while still giving you control. This is an actual picture or an actual shot of the product itself.
I got a box.
Landing out this afternoon.
You guys will know later.
If you mouse over any
Promise.
photograph that's yours, why we'll show you that enhanced icon. And when Matt clicks on that enhanced icon, we'll go back to the original, and if you let go, you'll see the enhancement. And if you want, you can click under the More menu, and you can always turn this on or off.
An auto
either globally
enhance.
or on an individual photo. So we think this is amazing, and it's going to
I
save
don't
you
know.
lots of time.
I like when
Let's continue on.
seeing people's images like the way
We
they
talked
wanted us
about
to see it,
backup.
not how
We talked
Google
about
wants to see it.
enhancing,
Again,
highlighting
Google
your photos
thinks
and, enhancing your
they
photos.
want us to
Now
see an
let's talk
image a
about
certain
awesome.
way, so they'll show us that
Awesome
certain way. They won't
creates a new image from one that
allow
did
you
not
to turn it
exist.
on, but they'll allow you to turn it
Let me
off,
give you-
which a lot
let
of
me give you
people
an example.
won't
We have
do.
lots of these. Let me give you an
Then
example.
then again,
We
there you go.
recognize that you've taken several pictures in burst mode or taken around the same time together. We will automatically gift to you in your album something that looks like this.
All right, so basically, people that have images put together, they will make a GIF for you.
Here's another example. Maybe you've taken lots of shots of children that are never looking at the same time. Go back to your album. You'll see a gift for you. You'll have another one of these auto awesome motions. By the way, over the
So they'll
past
give
2
you
weeks,
GIFs.
in a dark launch state, we've gone through all the albums you've hosted on Google.
So then
and gifted
mix
all of these
HDR
to
smile
you.
motion
You'll see them turned
pano.
on this afternoon. These are 5.
So those are 5 of the 41 new features of Google
We're
Plus.
introducing 5 auto awesome effects today. You saw a demonstration
Auto
of
awesome.
motion. Let me briefly talk about the others.
We're gonna make your images
If we
awesome
recognize
because
that
we
you
don't
have
think you
multiple
make your
portraits
images
together,
awesome.
a
So we're gonna
picture,
make them for
we
you
will automatically
because we're
create a
Google.
collage. HDR is self-explanatory. We'll do that for you. If we see
HDR is
multiple
self-explanatory.
pictures of the
I
same
bet you a
people,
ton of people in that
burst
audience
mode,
don't know what
when they're not all
HDR is.
smiling, we will find where they're smiling and we will construct a new image with all of them smiling. It's amazing. And finally, a pano. So if you've taken an image, we recognize it's at the same spot. We'll stitch them together beautifully and put that in your album for free. Okay, so to summarize, today we've shown you a new, modern, multi-column stream.
So,
a stream that's
our
about
second
design
hour
and
of the
depth,
stream
so
is
you can
down.
explore
Only
your
one more to
interests in
go.
Google+. We've shown you a new Hangouts application, one that's about conversations that last.
So to wrap up,
with the people
new
you
Hangouts,
love. And
new
finally, we've
stream,
shown you a
new
photos
enhancement
experience
features
and
for
shown you what can happen when
photos.
Google
There you go.
is your
The main
darkroom.
3 things for
Taken
Google Plus, or that are integrated
we
with
think
Google
we
Plus
just
in
put
their
the Google
services
into Google
platform.
Plus. And we
As a
finally
quick wrap up,
allowed
if you've just
technology
joined
to
us
get
or
out of
are
the way
wanting to join
and
us.
allow you to do what you do best. Live, learn, and yes, even love.
Live, learn, love. Love! I love you, Google Plus. Hugging. Google Plus. Yeah, all right.
Now we'd like to talk about what was possibly your first Google love, search. Join me in welcoming
My
Thomas
first
Singh
Google love
to the
was
stage.
search, and I used it all the way back when it was just Google search is when I used Google. I kind of wish we had those days again. But again, companies have to evolve and become like that. So, new guy on stage, missed his name, I'm sorry. The end of search. Really? He's not talking.
Yes. It's a provocative title.
The end of search as we know it.
Especially coming
There
from
you go.
Google. But I believe with good reason. Search is dramatically changing right before our eyes. And in the next 15 minutes, I want to show you how and in fact why. But before
Google
we
search.
dive
What?
in,
Are you now going to say
let me
we
just
want
tell
to
you
read
why
your
I'm
mind?
So excited to be here.
We're going to implant your brain
I
with
grew
a
up in
Google
small
search
town
bug and
India
know
in the
everything you
foothills
want
of
to
the
know.
Himalayas.
Oh, wait, that's Google Glass, isn't it?
Thank you. And yes, that's me when I was 3. Very cute. Indeed. My friends asked me too, what happened?
They showed a picture where it's 3 and then...
Growing up, like many of you, I was hooked on Star Trek. I would watch endless episodes of Star Trek, captivated by the
Oh, no.
future technology it showed. I mean, a
Oh,
computer you
no.
can talk to, and it will answer everything you ask it. I dreamt of building that computer one day, and little did I know that I would grow up to become the person responsible for building my dream for the entire world.
What does this mean?
Now, at Google, we are building 3 experiences that are making huge advances towards building that
So
dream.
enhancements to Google
The search
search.
of future will need to
What
answer,
could this be?
converse, and anticipate.
Answer,
And today,
converse,
we have
and
announcements
anticipate.
across all these areas. So let's start
So,
with answers, and let me
Google
show you
Answers.
what we have been up to recently.
Not like we have something like that already.
Last year, when we launched the Knowledge Graph, it was a huge advance in search technology. Knowledge Graph enabled Google to move beyond keywords and understand
So,
real-world
evolution of the
entities,
Google search.
unique people, places, and things.
I can't
and the
anticipate what you're saying, so please
between
anticipate it for me.
Knowledge Graph allowed us to answer questions we couldn't have answered before, like, what are the movies by J.J. Abrams? Or, what's the release date of one of the most anticipated movies of the season? Now, we have been continuously improving the Knowledge Graph. With over 570 million entities and growing, the graph becomes more and more powerful each day. And today, I'm happy to announce that very soon you would start getting important statistics powered by the Knowledge Graph. Now you can already find answers to questions like what's the population of India? However, starting today, we would be anticipating your next question, which may very well be, how does it compare to the population of other countries? And not only will we give you the answer alongside the trend line, we will show you all that in comparison to China and the United States, the 2 countries who are most often compared to India population-wise. Now, we have launched Knowledge Graph in English and 8 other languages, and today we are adding Polish. Yes, my friends. Turkish, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese as new languages for the Knowledge Graph. And while we are incredibly excited about our progress here, we're just getting started. And we know we can do a whole lot better. Because sometimes the answer you're looking for is that song or that video that your friend may have sent you, or it's your upcoming flight or restaurant reservation. And you should be able to find those answers from your own world without having to dig and sift through your email, your documents, and your calendar. You should simply be able to ask Google for your upcoming flight. Or your trip plans, even your restaurant reservations, or the package that's about to arrive, and even, of course, your vacation photos. Now, people who have opted into our Gmail search field are already enjoying this powerful experience.
Phone call people stuck.
However,
anyways,
something that is as important as giving you the answers and giving them to you in the most natural
so what I missed?
way possible.
What was the Megan engine? Had to answer the phone.
Is so that you can pretty much ask Google like you would ask a friend, and not by having to type keywords into a search box.
Google search.
This is why we have been working hard on technologies like voice recognition and natural language understanding.
I do like Google's voice
we have already
recognition,
launched
especially
conversational
their
search
Google Now.
on Android and on
Perfect.
iOS
It's
platform.
perfect.
You can tap the mic, ask Google your question, and you can get a spoken response back. And today, for the first time, I'm happy to announce that all this goodness of conversational search would be coming to all your desktops and laptops.
Yeah, look at that.
Chrome.
All of their Google search is coming everywhere. Desktops, laptops, multiple phone platforms, iOS.
While
have
you
ya.
can already use the microphone in Chrome to search, we will be bringing conversational search.
I do think that their
thought
conversational
forwarding,
search, or actually their speech
a new
recognition search,
interface,
is great.
Or as I call
I like it.
no interface. So that you don't even have to click the mic to search. You can sit back, relax, say, "Okay, Google."
Oh dear. Okay, Google, and then you can search so that it knows.
Ask your question
Oh
and
no.
have Google speak back
That's
the answer.
run up to somebody.
So we talked
Okay,
about the
Google,
power of
search
building
diarrhea, open up
these new
56 pages,
powerful
go!
experiences to
And
answer
run
your
off, and then it
questions
just
and
opens
letting
up
them
56
ask
pages
you
of
in
diarrhea.
the most natural way possible. However, we think that another
Although,
essential experience is our ability
that probably will
to
never happen.
anticipate and
Still pretty
suggest
funny.
to you the right thing at the right time, even before you ask for them. Here, of course, I'm talking about Google Now. Google Now was launched for Android last year, and within a short amount of time, it has become a must-have for its users. Recently, we launched Google Now for iPhones and iPads through the Google Search app, and users are loving it. It's getting better and better by the day, and the more you use it, the more useful it becomes for you. And today, we are happy to announce that very soon, you would be able to set reminders for yourself in Google Now, and they would show up at the right place at the right time.
Right place, the right
whenever you need them.
time. Not so sure about that. I still think Google needs to, or Google in general, I don't think
In
can
addition,
do that
we are also
as
launching
well as it
public
think
transit commute
that it
time
can.
Cards and more cards for music, television, TV shows.
I did feature
and video games you are
the
interested
Google app and the cards feature where you can swipe and everything. That's cool, and I like that. But I think that their claim that they can anticipate what you
Now,
want
we are confident
is
that
not
all this
there.
momentum in Google
Definitely
Now
not.
will make Google
Whoop, sorry.
even more useful as an assistive tool, and we are very excited about it. But what we are really excited about is how all these experiences are coming together to make your life easier.
Yes, and how are they coming
and the
together?
best way to understand this is to actually see them in action. I'd now like to invite
Yay, demo
John
time.
on the stage to show you how all these experiences are coming together in a beautiful way.
All right, let's see how these are coming together in one way with their demonstration.
Thank you, Amit. I'm so excited to be here to bring to life what Amit was talking about. Let's start with a scenario that might happen in my family, planning a day trip to Santa Cruz with my husband and kids. I'm going to walk over to the computer here, and what you see here is a Chrome browser in full screen mode, and Amit was talking about hot wording. Now this is really hot.
wording.
We just
Hot,
took
hot,
it off
hot.
the press this morning, and I've actually never tried hot wording in a room with so much ambient noise. So no hands.
Everybody should start clapping and
Okay,
yelling
Google.
right now.
Show me things to do in Santa Cruz.
Here are popular attractions in Santa Cruz.
I personally am one of the people who loves Google's
What you see
voice,
here is coming
their
from
their
our
synthesized
knowledge
voice.
graph. The knowledge
I think it's
graph
one of the
knows that
best
Santa Cruz
ones
is a
out
place,
there,
and that
rather
this list of
than stuff
places
like
are related to
Apple's
Santa
or
Cruz.
regular
I
phone
like
ones.
the Natural Bridges State Beach. It's a nice
So,
place to relax with
I
my
like it.
family. But I kind of like something more active. What about the boardwalk? Okay, Google. Show me pictures of the Santa Cruz boardwalk.
Here you go. Some pictures related to the Santa Cruz boardwalk.
I like that. Again, I like that.
Nice. I love a wooden roller coaster, so does my husband. Be nice to see if our kids like it too. The only question is, will the drive be too long? Okay, Google. How far is it from here?
The drive from your location to Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk.
How long is it from
73.9
here? So we can
miles.
understand. I like that. It understands where you want to go by taking into account your previous searches.
That was my favorite
I like
search.
that.
And you know why? It's because I barely said anything. It, here, well, somehow Google knew that it was the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk. And here is right here. Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk. And here
Nope.
is right here.
We just skipped back.
Now, the final thing that I'm going to need
That was
to
weird.
prepare is where to eat. My kids love seafood. My daughter actually loves mussels. And it's pretty funny to watch a 4-year-old eating mussels. So why don't we try and find a seafood restaurant?
Seafood
Okay,
restaurants
Google.
in California.
Show me
I
seafood
wonder how hard it
restaurants
is
in
to
Santa
find one of
Cruz.
those.
Here are addresses for seafood restaurants near Santa Cruz.
No, I've heard of this one, Johnny Harborside. I can click, look at the details. and even go ahead and make reservations.
So I think that was the first time she's ever clicked
there
on
you
that
have it.
keyboard when
This
she
is
was
the
doing
latest
that
voice
demo.
experience coming to Chrome
That was
and
pretty
Chrome
neat.
OS.
I'll like that if I'm not in a crowded spot and I don't look crazy when I'm speaking to a computer in public.
Now let's fast forward to my trip to Santa Cruz. Here I am enjoying the beautiful weather with my kids. We're going on the kiddie rides. But you know what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about how I can get back to the Giant Dipper, that old wooden roller coaster. I don't know if my kids are tall enough to ride it, so we can walk over and check. Or wouldn't it be more convenient to just ask Google?
If Google knows that, I will be impressed. Well, they probably do because they're doing the
How
demonstration.
tall do you have to be to ride the Giant Dipper?
You must be at least 4 feet 3 inches tall to ride giant.
I know that! That's... okay. I don't know if that was set up specifically
Nice.
for the demonstration,
Looks like
but that
my son
was
can go on.
interesting.
My daughter's too short, so my husband's going to have to wait this one out. So the next thing I'm going to have to check is will I have enough time to get to the Giant Dipper and get back in time for my reservation? Now Google Now anticipates my information needs. So when I swipe up into Google Now, I see the reservation right here. It's at 2 p.m. and it's only 5 minutes away. So now I know I can make it over to the roller coaster in time. And when I come back, I can click on this navigate link and get turn-by-turn
All right.
directions right to the restaurant.
I'll like that. For now.
So now let's
I like
fast
for
forward
now.
again. I've ridden the roller coaster, I'm in the restaurant, we're eating our mussels, and my husband and my conversation turns to an upcoming business trip I have to New York this week. Usually on Wednesdays I take my daughter to school, but I'm not sure if this Wednesday I'm going to have enough time to get her to school and then make it to the airport to get my flight. I don't quite remember when my flight is, so wouldn't it be great to just ask Google?
Let's just ask Google! Who needs anybody
What is my
else
flight
besides
leave?
Google?
Delta Airlines Flight 1940 from SFO to JFK leaves at 11:30 a.m. on May 22nd.
So again, that's just search within
those
your
of you
calendar or
participating in
within
our
your
search
mail,
free trial, this
searching
will work
for
today. Now, the last time I
codes
was in New
to
York, I was
to
there
know
with my
your
family.
flights.
I wasn't there on business. I was there with my family to take them to see the sights. I saw some old friends. I had them meet my kids. And my friend Katie asked me to be sure to give her a call the next time I'm in town. Be sure that we can get together. So before I forget,
Whoops,
why
sorry.
don't I get in touch with Katie? Send an email to Katie. I'll be in town on Thursday and was wondering if you're available for dinner. Okay, sent. Now, Katie's a bit forgetful, so I want to make sure to give her a call right when I get to town. Remind me to call Katie next Wednesday.
There's geofencing, like they were talking about. Well, actually, reminder, sorry, it's not geofencing. My
What
bad.
you see here is our latest voice action, reminders, that are launching in Google Now today.
So reminders,
Reminders
like
work on
on
times, dates,
iOS,
and
like on
locations,
all other
including
platforms.
home
It's
and
just a
work.
reminder.
Now, when I set
Not
this
too exciting,
reminder,
but it's something
Google
to
Now
notice.
will remind me at just the right moment. Fast forward again. Fly to New York, I get out of my plane, I go to get my taxi. In the past, what I would be doing is rifling through my backpack for the reservation so that I could tell the taxi driver where my hotel was. But Google Now has just the right information just when I need it. So I can swipe in, see my reservation at the W.
So
I scroll down, I see
this
my
reminds me
reminder to call
exactly of
So I've talked to the
Staples
taxi
and the
driver.
Easy button.
I've talked to my friend Katie. I'm
Well,
just
that
sitting
was
back.
easy.
I'm so
Which
excited
there's
to
one
be
around
back
here
in New
somewhere. I
York.
have one, but I don't know
Remembering
where it
the trip
is.
I had last year when I took my kids around when they met my friend Katie. I'd love to show Katie the pictures from this last trip. Now, for my final demo, wouldn't it be great if I could just ask Google? Show me my pictures from New York last year. Oh, and those are my pictures from New York. And there's Katie reading a book to my kids. These are the building blocks and the experiences Amit was talking about. I hope you're starting to see how it's all coming together. With that, let's welcome Amit back on stage.
Thank you, Johanna. I'm incredibly proud of the search experience that we are building and tremendously excited to bring it to hundreds of millions of people around the world on the devices they rely on every day. It's important to remember, though, this experience is rapidly developing.
It's
and it will take
Skynet.
time before
That's all it is. It's Skynet.
Experience. There are several complex and unsolved scientific problems that we will have to solve before we get there, but our investment and commitment to getting there sooner rather than later is immense. The announcements today are a really good sign of the progress we have made. With more features in the knowledge graph and more languages, conversational voice search and hot wording coming to Chrome on desktops and laptops, and new now functionality, including reminders.
So
and
more
various
languages
other
and knowledge graph, conversational
Search is really
searches,
becoming
and
a
Google Now
beautiful,
features.
ubiquitous
Those are the big
experience
things that they're
that
announcing.
intelligently answers your questions
Right there.
and assists you throughout the day across all screens. The idea of building such a powerful means of getting knowledge to the world.
I
is
like
what
all of these features,
inspires us
although
every
graph
day.
search really doesn't help me because it's
With
just
a
new
simple touch of a
languages.
mic,
Conversational
from the Queen of
searches,
England
the Google Now
to the
stuff,
most
I
humble
think
farmer
is
in Africa.
pretty freaking amazing.
From the developer who just joined the Glass Explorer program to that mother
I am getting
in a
Google
rural
Glass.
village in
I can't
India
wait.
who
Sometime
just got
I
her
assume
first
this
basic smartphone.
summer.
Everyone
I think.
can easily access all of humanity's information and get what they need to improve their and their families' lives. That, my friends, is the power of the new search experience that we are building at Google, and it will change how you and I experience this beautiful journey that we call life. Thank you.
This is how Terminator started. I swear. He's got the glowing red orb. That's Hal. There's Hal. You have Terminator with knowing what
So
you
we have
want.
talked about the future of search and how it's changing right before our eyes. And we know that a perfect map of the world is foundational to delivering exactly what you want, when you want it, and where you want it. So I'd like to turn it over to Brian
so
McClendon
much
to
to take
talk
in.
about the future of
So much.
Google Maps.
So now we're moving on to Google Maps. All right, let's see here. I like Google I/O's logo. It's very minimalistic.
Thank you very much.
So here's Brian McClendon.
Hi, I'm Brian McClendon, and I lead the Maps team here at Google. Google Maps helps you navigate from place to place, but it also helps you explore and discover the world around you. Today we're going to talk about the future of Google Maps and where it's going. But to talk about the future, I need to talk a little bit about the past. Back in 2005, Maps was a problematic experience on the internet. It was very slow, 10 to 20 seconds for a map, multiple boxes you had to type things into.
So
Google Maps came up with the idea of pre-rendering the map tiles.
I wonder,
providing that
what are they
single
going to
search
do?
box,
Probably
making a
an
smooth, fluid
HTML5 experience,
And we launched, and many people were very excited
pre-rendered.
about it. But Europeans had a bit of an issue, and they sent this screenshot. We had launched with only part of the world.
What else?
And it shows that data is very important.
Points of interest, maybe?
And by 2008,
I don't know. I can't
we
really
licensed data and had
think
turn
right
by turn
now of
directions in
what
22 countries. But we
would be
discovered
coming
that
out.
keeping data up to date was very hard. We created a project called Ground Truth. Ground Truth is taking authoritative data sources, combining with all of the process and algorithms of Google, and making the best data set we can possibly make. Recently, we launched 2 more countries, Thailand and Indonesia, bringing to a total of 43 countries overall with the Ground Truth data. But this doesn't cover the whole world. In many cases, countries didn't have good maps. We created a tool called MapMaker. MapMaker allows its users to contribute their data and make the best maps they can. In some cases, those maps are now the best maps that country has anywhere. And that's helped us cover 199 countries around the world. But there's one country that was missing. We had some of it in MapMaker, but just very recently, we published North Korea, making 200. Now, you can take a look at what North Korea looked like before. We just had, this river and the city name, but adding all of the detail for Google, actually having people tell us the POIs, the places, the parks, the neighborhoods, the streets, gives it so much more depth. And there's another thing you see on this map that was really important to us. Geocoded photos change the experience of everything. They allow you to dip into a place and really get a sense of the place exactly. And those geocoded photos inspired us. And in 2007, we launched a product called Street View, which actually created these big panoramas, and we launched it in 7 cities in the United States. But those 7 cities weren't enough. Recently, we launched 2 more countries, Hungary and Lesotho, and we now have 50 countries around the world covered with Street View imagery. We've driven 5 million miles with these cars. But we haven't just taken Street View on
Tell
the road.
me
We've taken it on trains,
that
the Swiss Alps.
you have
We've
looked
taken it
up
down the Amazon
your
on a boat.
house
And even
on Street
at a
View, because I
beautiful
know
imagery
everybody
in the
has.
Great
I know
Barrier
I
Reef and
do.
other
It's
places around the
fun
ocean.
to look at your house on Street
As you
View.
can see
I think,
here,
at least.
This is an incredibly immersive experience. So, being able to go here, you know, unless you're a snorkeler or a scuba diver, you'll never visit this place. But you can really get a taste of how the different places look and preview the place overall. This was the imagination that created Google Earth in the first place. Imagery is very important to us, and we've been working with satellite imagery and aerial imagery for a long time. But in 2012, we started generating new data from our existing aerial imagery. Combining oblique images, many different photographs from around a building, we're actually able to generate 3D geometry of large urban cores, and we're now covering far more places with 3D buildings than we ever had before. This idea of generating data from other data is fundamental to what Google does. We have so many different sources of it, but there are also so many different kinds of errors you can have. We have the base maps, we have Street View drivers with GPS tracks of their cars, we have images from Street View, satellite, aerial, these 3D buildings I talked about, and also terrain data that we've generated. Each one of them is good, but can be improved in combination. And this combination is called bundle adjusting, and it's incredibly important to improving the quality of maps overall. You know, one of the best examples of this is our local business data. Locating local businesses precisely is actually pretty hard, but using Street View, computer vision, and algorithms, we now have over 40 million precise geocodes locating these businesses around the world, making ours the most comprehensive data set of precisely located local businesses. So this data is at the basis of everything that Google does with its products, but it's also at the basis of everything that you do. In 2005, Google Maps API launched. But in the last year,
Google Maps
we've
stuff.
had 30% year-over-year growth. And today, I'd like to announce we have over 1 million websites using Google Maps in their site.
A million sites using Google Maps. Very popular. Unless you're Google, or actually Apple, sorry. Unless you're Apple, because you use Apple Maps now.
People every week, and actually get more use than Google Maps does on Google products alone. So Google Maps API is incredibly important to us.
I'm very supportive of Google Maps because they do a lot of very nice stuff, and it's one of the easiest platforms that I've ever used to get directions, to find where I need to go, all that stuff. I tried Bing Maps.
Things with user location.
Yeah.
And the Android SDK for Maps 2. We also have Google Maps SDK for iOS. And being able to bring Google Maps 3D camera motion and fluid motion into your applications, I think has changed a lot of the applications around.
So again, this is a 3-hour keynote. Maybe about a half an hour to go.
The 17 sessions that we're going to have in the Google Maps track over the next couple of days. And highlight one thing in particular. There's a product called Google Maps Engine that you may have heard of, uploading your data into the cloud. If you can do that, you can serve your data to everybody with the same performance and quality and integrated with the Google Maps experience. And with the Google Maps API, you can actually have.
So Google Map has an API where you can push out your images and data
I'd like to introduce
to
Daniel Graff,
people.
who's going to talk about the next generation.
So now here we go with the next generation. So this is what they should have just started with and talked about, but oh well. Look at me, I'm a casual in my little.
Hi everyone.
Strap
I know when it comes to mobile phones,
thing.
everyone in here is probably here for Android. But as most of you probably heard, last December we launched Google Maps on the iPhone. It has been a tremendous success. The feedback has been very positive. People called it sleek, simple, beautiful, and let's not forget, accurate. So if you're an iPhone user, you don't have it on your phone yet, go to the App Store, download it today. Brian talked
Google
a lot
Maps
about the
app
power
is
of Google Maps
amazing.
data. He
So if you have an
mentioned
iOS device,
we're going
definitely
beyond
a
just
must-have
direction and
app.
navigation. Maps
Definitely.
are also about exploring and discovering places. And nowhere is that more critical than on a mobile phone. Today, we're going to announce, we're going to give you a sneak preview of the next major release from Google Maps for mobile, coming to Android and, of course, iOS. For that,
So
we're gonna
Android
take a little
and
stroll through San
iOS
Francisco.
releases.
I'm going to start
Very interesting.
here on my Nexus 4. And as you can see, when I start this, it's a brand new design, a new look, and actually we're here at Moscone. I can zoom in. I can see all the beautiful 3D buildings. Which
Seamless
we also saw
integration
in the
into 3D
Android demo before.
and see
But for
points
now,
of interest.
as I
Looks
mentioned,
pretty
sometimes
cool.
it's about what is the right place to go. So at the moment, let's say I'm in the mood for Burmese food, and here in San Francisco. So I'm just going to search for Burmese food. And when we look at the results, the first results we get is Burma Superstar has a 4.0 rating, over 1,000 reviews. Well, I want to find out more. I actually see my friend Salud.
This is very nice.
He rated it 5 stars. I trust his taste, so I want to look a little more. Just swipe down. I have different imagery I can look at. Of course, once you go there, you can rate and review. You can upload photos. And as some of you, here I have different reviews I can see. And some of you noticed here, there's a rating scale of 4.0 there. So today, we're going to announce a new 5-point rating scale across all Google Maps products.
So
if
Google
you
Maps
search
now
for
is a
restaurant
5-point
on
rating
Google.com,
system instead of a
or if you
4. I
use
think it was
Maps
a
on the
4-point
desktop
rating system.
or on a mobile phone. Now,
so
I want to go to
that's
a
pretty neat.
different
It's
use
a
case,
minor
and
feature,
it's
but
actually
pretty cool.
quite a common one. How often have you searched for pizza? That's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it this time in the Mission District. And let's see where we are. And let's see what results we are getting here. And no surprise, we're getting a lot of results. And with this new UI, it's very easy to browse through it.
The new
I
UI
can
looks
just
pretty
swipe to different results.
freaking amazing.
I can bring up the details.
I mean,
and
look at that.
Is
That
this
looks-
a good place to go? But something caught my eye here. It's the
That looks
Sagat
pretty
badge.
amazing,
What
to
does
me,
that mean?
at least.
And before we looked at user reviews and my friends' reviews, but sometimes you want to have a trusted opinion from an expert. We integrated a brand new Sagat experience.
So they're
And
integrating
as you know,
Sagat, which is
one of the most
a
trusted
company that they bought a couple
brands
months ago.
on opinions about restaurants and places to go. Here you see a little card, and you see the Pizzeria Delfina.
Actually, might have been a
is
couple
actually
years ago.
on a list
Can't remember
called
when they bought
Restaurants
Sagat.
Worth the Wait in San Francisco. I can also get all the details, such as the editorial review from Sagat and the Sagat scores. So sometimes it's important view from Sagat and the Sagat scores.
We jumped.
So sometimes it's important to get a trusted expert to tell you, hey, this is a place you can go. Now, it has been quite a long morning, an exciting morning, but I'm going to go back to where we are right now, around Moscone and downtown here in San Francisco. And what I'm going to look for is, I'm in a mood for some coffee. So
You're in a mood for coffee?
search for coffee.
Starbucks.
And let's see what
There
the
you go.
results are here. And for example, well, first result, surprise, surprise, there's a lot of Starbucks in town, has a high rating, and something else caught my eye here.
It's got an offer. That is
And
nice.
Let's
If-
have a
if-
look at it. And actually we have
If
integrated
they allow
here
you to do
a brand new
offers
offers
and see
experience
offers
with
when you're
great
searching,
deals from
that
some of
is
the world's
pretty
best brands.
neat.
In this example, this is Starbucks, and as we see, they're introducing a new drink, Starbucks Refreshers, this afternoon, half price off. Please don't run there. I'm giving you a preview here. And if we go in there, and I actually I can get the details about the offer, and then I can save it for later as well. So we see here the offer about it, I use it later, and then I can go this afternoon if I want
That-
to. We have many launch partners
Pretty
beyond
good.
Starbucks, and there's
Seeing
many more to
deals
come.
and offers and stuff like
This
that
is the new
when you're searching for
offers
stuff.
experience in Google Maps
I like
for
that.
mobile.
That is something that's
So,
very nice to
Now
see
I want to talk
and
a little
have.
bit about directions.
So now
And
directions. Let's
a
see
lot
what they're
of you
doing
using
with
public
directions.
transport. I know that when I look at numbers, we have currently over 1 million transit stops in the whole world which we cover. And for those who are using cars or ride around with bicycles, 50 billion kilometers of turn-by-turn directions. Imagine 15 billion kilometers. Today we're going to announce several new key features to make your navigation experience even better. For example, we have a revamped incident experience. We're adding live coverage of incidents from all around the world. So in Traffic View, for example, you can see in real time incident alerts. You can just tap on it to see details, and then you know what's going on. Even cooler, another feature is dynamic rerouting. Let's say you're driving along your route and something happens ahead of you. The conditions worsen. Google gives you an early warning and it tells you, hey, there's a better route to take. So this was
I will like that. That's something that's nice. Finding better routes today. Because I live in Seattle. And when you live in Seattle, traffic changes like that, and you always want to find the fastest route to get everywhere. So if they can provide real-time suggestions to get faster routes, awesome sauce.
Bigger screen size. So I'm very happy to announce today that we have a brand new, fully dedicated tablet maps experience. And we're
Tablet
have a look
maps
here. So we're still here in
experience.
San Francisco.
That's nice because I use my tablet sometimes to look up areas because, of course, it's a large screen. Looks like they're using an iPad there. But I don't see iPads used for directions, though. So it might be nice to see directions. Now, hopefully, we can see a transition between sending something from your iPad off to your iPhone. That would be cool.
You don't really know what you're in the mood for. You're like, entertain me, show me, what can I discover in San Francisco? I'm visiting here. So you're not typing in a search query. All you do is, and this is a new experience, you say, let's explore. It's a beautiful explore experience.
Exploring. That is nice. I like to see what's in place, especially if I'm going around somewhere to look or if we're about to travel there. That is nice. And it looks like Google Plus, like I said, or I think I said at least.
Parks and, well, let's take
that's something that a lot of people use if they're new to the area.
Very high rating, 4.6.
It's definitely something.
As you get all the details here, and just at the touch of a button, you want to see how it looks like there. You have the street view experience, and of course, it's very easy to go there afterwards.
Very seamless.
So this is a
looks
new
very
way
nice.
to explore and discover your surroundings. There you have it. So these were just a few of the new features for Google Maps for mobile. It's a brand new experience, and as I mentioned, we emphasize a lot on discovery, exploration, better navigation, and a beautiful new design.
All right.
We're truly excited about this new product. It's coming to your Android devices and your iOS devices, smartphones and tablets this summer. It's pretty cool, right? But thanks. But where are we going to go next with Google Maps? As Brian mentioned earlier on, Google Maps launched in 2005. We currently have over 1 billion.
Oh, streams.
And as you all know, Google Maps has defined modern mapping, and we're about to reinvent it again. And for that, I want to introduce Bernie and Jonah, and they're going to tell you a little bit more about the future of Google Maps. Bernie, Jonah.
So the Hangout app is now live on the iTunes App Store. If you guys want to get it, it's it's lgic.co/hangout app. lgic.co/hangout app. If you guys want to get it.
At what we have today, and we saw there are three things missing. Number one, you and me and everybody else, we look at the exact same map. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could build billions of maps, one for every user? And not only that, a map that adapts to what you do, a map built for you. And number two, Google has all this imagery from satellite to street, indoors, and even underwater. Wouldn't it be cool if you could bring this all together into one experience that would be fun and easy to explore?
I'm currently having a little issues getting to it, but that link does work.
Simpler
I know it does.
By coming up with whole new ways to interact with the map itself, making the map the user interface.
So just keep
with these three principles and our great
retrying the
foundation,
link. It should work.
And rebuild Google Maps from the ground up. Jonah, show us how it looks.
This is the new Google Maps.
Wow. Nice full screen experience.
Focusing the design and the
Very
interactions on
nice.
the map has made everything simpler and a real pleasure to use. The map is rich and beautiful with vibrant colors and textures.
So this is a computer running Chrome, and we're using the latest open standards like WebGL to make the experience really smooth and snappy. These are vector maps in a browser. So now let me tell you a little story. I just moved here about a year ago. This is a nice neighborhood, and it was an exciting time as I got to explore a new area. And I love exploring, and so one of the first things I did was search for restaurants. And this is our new search experience. No more just 10 pins. All the results are labeled directly on the map. This makes exploring really fast and easy. And the top results, they come with a useful description that gives you a flavor of the place, so you can make decisions very quickly.
Nice full
No
screen.
need for cross-referencing.
It looks
Everything is right there on
fantastic
the
to
map.
use, at
The
least
map
when
is the
looking
user
at it.
interface. Now, of course, there's this other way how you can find restaurants. You can ask your friends. And now you can do that directly in the new Google Maps. We added a filter. And now you see those search results are all the sushi places that my friends have reviewed. Like Ichi here, that my friend Stephanie likes.
That looks
And
pretty
these
cool.
are our new cards. They summarize everything that is important about this place. But earlier I was talking about imagery, and you see those 3 photos, and I love this part. Let's take a closer look.
Oh, that is amazing. Look at that. That is pretty neat.
We just flew into our new immersive imagery experience. And it actually looks like a great place. I might go there tonight.
Wow.
Let's head back out, clear the search.
That.
So earlier I was saying this map is built for you. Let me show you how that works.
That
I've been
I
living
do
in this
like
area for
that.
about a year now, and I've done many, many searches. I've reviewed places, starred places, and I made great new friends. And my map got better and better. The places you see on this map, they are my landmarks. Like Francis here, that's one of the first places I went to. It's a great restaurant, I love it, and I keep going back. So it's very important to me. And just the other day, someone told me about a bike shop and said, it's right next to Francis. And I knew exactly where it is. It is a landmark for me. And that's why it's on my map. But it's a fairly small place. So it might not be on Jonah's map. It might not be on your map. But it's a landmark for me. And so it's on my map. And when
That's
you are
nice.
logged
Getting
in,
your own
you get your
landmarks,
map,
knowing
and we'll highlight everything that is
exactly
important
what
to
you have and what
Now,
you know.
It's not just about all the places that I already
I like
know.
that. I'll
a good
like
friend
that.
of mine is in town for I/O, and I thought we could try a new restaurant. And my map is going to help me with just that. See these places here? They're recommendations. Like Bar Tartine shows up because it's similar to Francis, and I liked Francis, so it's a recommendation for me. And Foreign Cinema shows up because my friend Anita likes it. So these two look like great options. And this is how Google Maps helps you discover new places without even having to search. So this is how we can build a map for you, using the same data as Google Now, so it will get better and better the more you use it.
That's pretty amazing. I'll definitely like that and definitely.
So that's how we build a map for every person. Now let me show you how we build a map for every place.
Building.
So next
See how they
weekend,
build their
some friends
maps.
of-
This will be
Some friends of
interesting.
mine from Italy are in town, and they have children. So I thought we could go to the Randall Museum. It's near my home, and it's really great for kids. But it's a little bit tricky to get to. See, this little road here that leads up to the museum, it's not even labeled. And that makes perfect sense. It's a very small, unimportant road. But it's important for the Randall Museum. So watch what happens when we click on it. Now the street is labeled. And all the other streets that lead to this place are highlighted as well.
So they mark major roads, and then when you're finding areas, they'll mark more
Let's have another
major roads, if I understand that right.
Before, a regular map. And after, the roads are highlighted.
So it highlights
and
the
labeled.
roads after you
This
pick
map
a
makes it
location.
so much
Interesting.
easier to understand how to
Very,
get to
very
this place.
interesting. Looks
So we
very
can build
nice.
a unique map for every place on every click. Isn't that amazing? So, but I know my friends' kids, and they will definitely want to explore more. Now that's going to be really easy, because now all the landmarks you see on the map are related to the Randall Museum. And so
it's all about relations. It's all about knowing what you're looking for, generalized terms.
And when we click on that,
very nice.
we get a whole new map with new places to explore. So we can click on the Exploratorium. And when we click on Exploratorium, another map appears. So we can keep going and going. This is a great way to explore new places. It's really easy, just clicking and clicking. So it's simple and powerful. The map is the user interface. So now let's see how we can get there. So we could click here on directions, but for the most common case, there's an even simpler way. See, my home is right there on the map, and it says a 16-minute drive. So if I want to get directions from my home, I can just click on that. And
it shows you
directions experience.
Different places how to get home. That's pretty cool. That's very neat.
A great new thing is that we directly compare driving with public transit on the map. And that's going to be really useful because this weekend we won't have a car.
That's one of the things that I kind of
much
am like hoping to see is more and better walking directions from Google, because that's something that I've definitely wanted in the past is better walking directions. So that would be nice to have.
And they run every 3 minutes. So that makes taking public transit so much easier. And if you want more details, you can use our new schedule viewer.
Oh, that is nice. That is really nice. Okay. Very nice, Google. Especially if you want to take public transit. Next year I'm trying to have to take a lot of public transit. That is going to have to be
even if it takes
very
a bit longer.
nice.
And here that looks like a great one. Thanks. So this is the future of getting directions.
That is very nice. Very nice.
Now, as Brian talked about earlier, we've collected tons of imagery, and we've made it a real focus of the design to make sure it's easy and fun to explore.
So let's see how they'll integrate
so my
pictures.
Friends, they're from Rome, and so they insist that next time I come and visit them. So let's take a trip.
So let's take a trip, probably take a virtual
trip. This is a really nice 3D model of the St. Peter's Basilica, but can we have a more realistic view?
Ooh, 3D color. That is pretty nice.
No plugins,
wow.
No downloads. This is
That's
the Google
native
Earth experience right here
Google
on the browser.
Interface right there. Pretty nice. Very, very nice.
And that's not all. You see this row of images at the bottom?
And it shows images
that
that people have taken and shared.
Easy to explore. And the beauty of this place is really on the inside.
Wow.
So let's go on a tour.
Oh, can you go on a tour inside? Oh, look at that! I mean, look at that. That is very good and a huge leap for Google Maps.
Automatically generated from user-uploaded photos. So it will only get better and better.
I like that.
So let's head back to San Francisco.
Wow.
So this is the Moscone Center from a skydiver's perspective.
Moscone Center from a skydiver's perspective. I wonder why.
Started, I came up here on stage, and with the camera app on my Android phone, I took a photosphere and submitted it to Google Maps. And there it is.
A photosphere of... Look at that. That's very cool.
This is how you guys look from up here. So everybody can upload a photosphere and submit it to Google Maps. And so
anybody can upload anything, and it can become part of Google Maps experience. That is pretty nice, because it's all about user generation, crowdsourcing.
We'll have Oculus
right
Rift,
there.
and you can get the experience you just saw with a leap motion. Let's get back out. So we jump back out, and as we're zooming out, and we're leaving the Earth's atmosphere.
Uh-oh. Is it space? Space!
You can see the whole world.
Space? 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 Space. Space.
And those clouds?
Space. Space.
They're real time.
What? Those clouds are real time. Awesome. Again, Google just got more Googlier.
But we can go further.
But we can go further. Oh no. I told you.
This
Space.
is the Earth traveling through space.
Space.
And you can see the stars in the Milky Way at the right position. And as the sun sets behind the Earth, the night lights come out. And this is the future of Google Maps.
That is amazing. From a Google Maps perspective and just playing around with it, that is amazing for Google Maps.
Bernie, Jonah, this is beautiful. Now, when are we going to get this? How long is it going to take for you to deliver?
I don't think these people want to wait.
Oh, is it available right now? I'm going to maps.google.com.
Well, you can try this today. This is the new Google Maps.
Oh, still the old
Going
Maps.
to preview on a desktop. So it's the perfect thing to try with your new Pixel.
I keep refreshing Maps. It's probably just rolling out right now.
When you pick it up, check your inbox, and you will have an invite. And everybody else, please go to maps.google.com/preview and sign up.
Preview.
And we'll send the first invites tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Maps.google.com is an error right now. Ah!
So that is the future of Google Maps. Data.
I was going to go sign up,
APIs,
but it's not launched yet. It's probably going to launch here in just a second.
and
Maybe.
Desktop maps coming to you in the room today.
Maps.google.com.
So with that, I'd like to thank the Geo team and all the people who
So,
worked on this because it's been incredibly hard.
That
With
is
the future of Google Maps. Thank you.
So if they put up the freaking sign-up page. So hey, look who made it on stage. We haven't seen him in forever. Larry Page. He's been sick, so it's nice to see him.
It was actually a while ago. I asked for the picture of the Earth at night, and I'm really excited to finally have gotten it. Although I'm still waiting actually for a higher resolution. So let's give a big round of applause to the Maps guys. I think it's amazing.
So he has been having some health issues lately, but it's nice that he's actually on stage showing off. You can tell his voice is very degraded.
I'm really excited to be here, and first I want to start with a story. I was very, very lucky growing up, and I was thinking about this as we were preparing for this Google I/O. My dad was really interested in technology, and I was just remembering he actually drove me and my family all the way across the country to go to a robotics conference. And then we got there, and he thought it was so important that his young son go to the conference. And one of the few times I've seen him really argue with someone to get in someone underage successfully into the conference, and that was me. And one of the themes I just want to talk to you about is how important it is for us, all of the developers here in the room and watching, to really focus on technology and get more people involved in it. And also thinking about my dad, his degree, he was lucky enough to get a degree in communication sciences. And you might ask, well, what the heck is communication sciences? That's what they called computer science when computers were a passing fad. Sounds kind of funny now,
computers
right?
of passing fad.
Yeah, but there was a time when that was true.
Now look at them.
And I think everyone today is excited about technology. You know, we don't have to worry about that so much anymore. And I think that Android and things like that are being adopted much faster than anything else in the past. You know, look at the rate of adoption of those things on almost any basis. They're much, much faster. And it's incredible. You know, I think about when I pull out my smartphone, it's amazing what we have in the smartphones. We have almost every sensor we've ever come up with. I recently got a scale, and it measures air quality, and it uploads it to the internet. I'm sure those things will end up in your smartphone, right? That's amazing. And, your phone can talk to anyone in the world, almost anywhere in the world.
A air quality meter on a smartphone might be nice for actually crowdsourcing
You take out
air
your phone
quality.
and hold it out. It's almost as big as a TV or a screen you're looking at. And it has the same resolution as well. And so if you're nearsighted, which I see many of you out there with glasses, and even some Google Glass, thank you. I think many of you are nearsighted. Smartphone and a big display are kind of the same thing now, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. So I think we also have a lot more devices that we use interchangeably. We use tablets, phones, laptops, and even the Google Glass. All those things we're using. And that's why we put so much focus on our platforms, on Android forms, on Android and Chrome. It's really important in helping developers and Google build great user experiences across these different devices to have these platforms. And I'm tremendously excited about all the innovation that you're bringing to life. Technology should do the hard work so that people can get on with doing the things that make them happiest in life. Take search, for example. Perfect search engine, as Amit mentioned, is a Star Trek computer, right? And understand exactly what you meant and give you exactly what you wanted. And our knowledge graph, which you saw, really brings that a lot closer. I think Google Now, which Johanna just did, gives you information without even having to ask. And it understands the context of what you talked about before. So you can use things like pronouns. It's amazing. Flight times, your boarding passes, directions, next appointment, all with no effort. Think about a really smart assistant doing all those things for you so you don't have to think about it. You saw how easy some of those experiences felt. And we're just getting started. The opportunities we have are tremendous. We haven't seen this rate of change in computing for a long time. Probably not since the birth of personal computing. But when I think about it, I think we're all here because we share a deep sense of optimism about the potential of technology to improve people's lives and the world as part of that. And I'm amazed every day I come to work, the list of things that needs to be done is longer than the day before.
Sorry that I'm not talking, just that his words are very important right now, so you should probably listen to them.
Than it was before. And because of that, I think we, as Google, and as an industry, all of you, we're really only at 1% of what's possible, and probably even less than that. And despite the faster change we have in the industry, we're still moving slow relative to the opportunities that we have. And some of that, I think, is due to the negativity. Every story I read about Google is kind of us versus some other company or some stupid thing. And I just don't find that very interesting. We should be building great things that don't exist, right?
Very true words. Shouldn't be about company to company, it should be about advancing.
And being negative is not how we make progress. And most important things are not zero-sum. There's a lot of opportunity out there. And we can use technology to make really new and really important things that make people's lives better. And if I think back to a long time ago, a very long time ago, all of humanity was basically farming or hunting all the time, right? And you probably, if you lived at that time, you probably hoped that you could feed your family. And unfortunately, that's still true for a lot of people in the world. But certainly for us, we don't worry about that. And the reason for that is technology. We've improved how we raise, grow food and so on. And the technology of that has allowed people to focus on other things, if they choose. By the way, I think being a farmer is great if that's what you want to do. But it's not great if that's what you have to do. And that's what technology lets us do, is free up ourselves to do more different things. And I'm sure that people in the future will think we're just as crazy as we think everyone in the past was at having to do things like farming or hunting all the time. So, to give an example of this, Sergey and I talk a lot about cars. He's working on automated cars now. And imagine how self-driving cars will change our lives. And
He's working on cars, suggesting that each one of the CEOs has, or top guys have their own projects that they like to work on.
Fewer accidents,
Pretty
more
funny.
freedom, fewer
Pretty cool.
hours wasted behind the wheel of a car. And the average American probably spends almost 50 minutes commuting. Imagine if you got most of that time back to use for other things. Unfortunately, even in other countries, commute times are still pretty large. Not quite as large as the US, but still very significant. Now, to get there, we need more people. More people like you, more kids falling in love with science and math at school, more students graduated with science and engineering degrees, and more people working on important technological problems. And it's why Google got involved with the movie The Internship. I'm not sure we entirely had a choice, but they were making a movie. We decided it would be good to get involved. Lorraine's up front. She's really responsible for that. And I think the reason why we got involved in that is that computer science has a marketing problem. We're the nerdy curmudgeons. I don't know about you, but that's what I am. And, well, in this movie, the guy who plays the head of search, the Amit Singhal you just saw, is by far the coolest character in the movie. And we're really excited about that. So I think today, we're still just scratching the surface of what's possible. That's why I'm so excited. Google is really working on the platforms that support all of your innovations. I cannot wait to see what comes next. I got goosebumps as I was watching some of the presentations here. And I really want to thank you for all of your contributions. So with that, I'm going to do something kind of unconventional and try to take some questions, actually, from all of you. So I've got 2 microphones set up towards the back here.
So it looks like it's transferring over into a Q&A with him.
I'm sure some of you
we're passing into the 3-hour mark, so I assume that the keynote is over, possibly, that this is like the last thing that's happening. So if so, we'll continue to stream this and I'll comment on anything that he has. But if you're just here for the keynote part, thank you guys for liking the video. Thank you guys for your comments.
Question per person.
So
we have 6,000
we'll see out of the 6,000 people who ask questions and even what the questions
1 million
are.
people.
So
1 million people.
We'll continue on with that
on YouTube, which is just unbelievable. So let's thank us for participating. Ooh. Okay, yes, sir, on the left here.
I'm Robert Scoble, one of the first glass holes.
It's Robert Scoble's the first one.
Thank you for getting my glass.
Robert, I really didn't appreciate the shower picture, though.
Here at Google I/O, several contextual things started coming out. We started seeing an API that's going to tell us whether we're walking or running or whatnot. Where are you going to take that in the future now that we have more sensors? And are you going to talk about the little sensor inside the Google Glass that watches our eye?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, this is a big area of focus. I think you saw that in the presentations. I think really being able to get computers out of the way and really focused on what people really need. Mobile's been a great learning experience, I think, for us and for all of you. You have the smaller screens, you can't have all this clutter. I think you saw on the new Google Maps how we got all sorts of stuff out of the way. You know, there's like 100 times less things on the screen than there was before. And I think that's going to happen with all of your devices. They're going to understand the context. You know, just before I came on stage, I had to turn off all of my phones, right? And so I'm not interrupting all of you. That's crazy. Right? That's not a very hard thing to figure out. So all that context that's in your life, all these different sensors are going to help pick that up and just make your life better. And I think that we're, again, only at the very, very early stages of that. It's very, very exciting. All right, let's take another question. Yes.
Hello, Larry. My name is Daniel Buckner. I have the opportunity to work at Mozilla on a lot of the web technologies with you guys here at Google. And I just, I saw a lot of the great web technologies you had here on display. And I know people had this question leading up to Google I/O, but are we ever going to see the web up-leveled in Android or subsume what is there now to be the operating system of mobile and your platform?
Sorry, you're asking about the future of the web.
Yeah, are we going to see it? I mean, Android right now, it runs on Java. It's a native platform. It's great in a lot of ways. Are we going to see the web and all the fantastic technologies you showed off here today?
That's an interesting question, especially if you're wondering about the future of web.
About the web, obviously being birthed from it as a company. And I think that, and we've really invested a lot in the open standards behind all that. You know, I've personally been quite sad, I've personally been quite sad at the industry's behavior around all these things. If you just take something as simple as instant messaging, we've kind of had an offer forever that will interoperate on instant messaging. I think just this week, Microsoft took advantage of that by interoperating with us, but not doing the reverse. Which is really sad, right? And that's not the way to make progress. You need to actually have interoperation, not just people milking off one company for their own benefit. So I think Google has always stood for that. I've been sad.
I think those are very true words when talking about being able to
negativity and on zero-sum games.
Advance in the web is that is the way, is that all the companies need to interoperate with each other to create a better web than for just trying to get their own foot and get their own leverage in the market rather than collaborating with everybody.
All those things. And I'm sad that the web's probably not advancing as fast as it should be. We certainly struggle with people like Microsoft. We've had a great relationship with Mozilla, I think, and value that deeply. I'd like to see more open standards, more people getting behind things that just work, and more companies involved in those ecosystems. I think that's why this conference is so important. But I wouldn't grade the industry well in terms of where we've gotten to. In the very long term, I don't think you should have to think about, as a developer, am I developing for this platform or another or something like that? I think you should be able to work at a much higher level. And software you write should run everywhere easily. And people like Mozilla should be able to add meaningfully to that and make platforms and other things. So that's how I would think about it.
Thank you.
It's a very, very complex and important question, though. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm from Colombia. And the only reason I didn't quite to finish my law studies was thanks to Google. So I have dreamed in this question many times. And I would like to ask you how Google will let us protect our freedom of speech through internet. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think
freedom of speech on the internet is a very important
I
question.
mean, this is part of the area where business gets interesting, right? I think we, Google, pretty clearly have a
being able to be
strong
open,
desire for freedom of speech,
to allow for
free flow of
non-censorship
information.
is something that's
And one of the main things we do is
that should
try to
always happen.
translate that into practice, you know, in hundreds of countries around the world, and make sure we're talking to government leaders and making sure we're helping advance that. And our chairman, Eric Schmidt, has been kind of traveling the world talking about that, and I really applaud those efforts and thinking about that. So we're working very hard on that, making sure we're protecting your private information, making sure that we're ensuring computer security, which is required to make sure we're protecting your freedom of that, and making sure we're being as transparent as we can about the requests we get from government and things like that. So this is a big area of focus for us, and hopefully we can do a lot to help the world and move it along there. It's a very difficult and important issue also. Yes, other great questions.
Recently, Google Fiber was announced for there, and part of the marketing campaign is 100 times the speed, 100 times the possibilities. What do you see as the possibilities from that fast of internet?
Well, I mean, I think from an engineering point of view, it's just kind of a no-brainer. Like,
it kind of cut off there in the question, but I kind of heard this question is, what is Google Fiber doing to, or what does he want Google Fiber to do to innovate?
And so, I guess as a computer scientist, I just view it's kind of sad. We have all these computers out there, and they're connected to each other through like a tiny, 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 tiny little pipe that's super slow. And so in a sense, all the computers we have in the world, most of them are in people's houses. Most of them can't be used for anything useful. So, it's obviously ways to go from where we are now. We don't really have software that's designed to use those things yet. But we know if we build that capacity, we'll be able to use those computers for all sorts of interesting things. And even basic things like the bandwidth of your visual system, it's pretty high compared to the bandwidth most people have. And I think it's pretty clear we want to deliver bits to your eyes, just as a basic thing. So I'm really excited about what we'll be able to do and what you'll all be able to do as we get more people with super high-speed connections. And probably gigabits are just the beginning for that. What we really need are low latency connections that operate at computer speed, whatever that is that you have inside of your house. So I'm really excited about that. So we're just getting started. All right, in the middle now.
So I agree with him that
black
to get
truck.
faster internet is a great way
Neve
to
Tomore
expand.
from Vancouver. We've seen Google move into some physical real-world products like Google Fiber and the autonomous self-driving cars.
I think that's a little weak.
Renewable energy
Maybe.
cheaper than coal.
No, that's
initiatives.
not. It looks like a little.
Curious if you can elaborate on further
The guy
projects
behind
that
in the-
Google is
the
planning
hat.
to get into regarding physical world type initiatives.
Yeah, well, my compatriot Sergey Brin, who last year arranged the skydiving, but this year did not. I mean, he's focused, Google X is focused on real sort of atoms and not bits. And part of why they just feel there's a lot of opportunity there. And, Sergey's having a great time doing that. That's, I think, a really, really fascinating and amazing job. I think that possibilities for some of those things are, incredibly great. Technology, if you look at technology applied to transportation, hasn't really started yet. We haven't really done that yet. So I think, and automated cars are just one thing you could do. You can do many, many other things. So I think we're very excited about that area. And we also think it's a way that the company can scale. I think that to the extent all of our products are interrelated, we actually need to do a fair amount of management of those projects to make sure you get a seamless experience. both as a user and a developer, that it all makes sense. When we do some of these other kinds of things, like automated cars, they have a longer time frame and less interaction. And so I'd actually encourage maybe more companies to try to do things that are a little bit outside their comfort zone, because I think it gets them more scalability in what they can get done. And so I think we've been surprised also, even when we do things that are kind of crazy, like the automated cars. It turns out, you just saw the mapping stuff we finished with. The technology for doing mapping in automated cars turns out to be the same. And so we have a bunch of great engineers that just moved over from those efforts, and they did it naturally and scalably. So, and they're excited about it. And so I'm really, really excited about that too. So every time we've done something crazy, Gmail, when we launched it, I think we had 100 people in the company when we launched Gmail. And people said, "You're nuts, you're a search company. Why are you doing Gmail?" It's because we understood things about data centers and serving and storage that we applied to email. And that was a great thing we did that. And so I think almost every time we've tried to do something crazy, we've made progress. Not all the times, but almost every time. So we've become a bit emboldened by that. And the good news is too, no matter how much money we try to spend on automated cars or Gmail in the early stages, they end up being small checks. So they don't really cause a business issue either. So I'm really excited about that. And I try to talk about that in my remarks. That's why I say I think we're at 1% of what's possible. Yeah, another question.
Yeah, hi Larry. It's Greg with DSky9. We're developing apps for Google Glass. And I was really excited to see all the new things that Google is providing, and also realized that it kind of trounced a bunch of existing businesses. I was wondering if you could speak to what you feel are the largest area of opportunities for developing on Glass outside of what Google will provide naturally. And a bonus question, what will be the production run for Glass for consumers?
Well, I mean, I have to ask Sergey that, but so I don't know what the production numbers will be. I think we're more focused on with Glass. Glass is a new category. It's quite different than existing computing devices. And so I think it's great that we've started on it. But I think our main goal is to get happy users using Glass. And so we put a bunch out to developers.
I can't wait for Google Glass.
With them in the audience.
Definitely waiting for it, for me at least, to get it.
Experiences that really make people happy.
I can't wait.
And so the team has tried to build the minimal set of things, just for practical sake, minimal set of things that will provide a great experience and make happy users. And then, we can get going and work on it for the next 10 years. And, every successive one is going to be better, obviously. So I think part of the answer is we don't know. I think the basic use cases we have around photography are amazing. I love taking pictures of my kids with Glass and movies and so on. And I find that, for me, that's enough. I have young kids. For me, that's enough reason to have Glass just there. I think if you didn't have young kids, you might not feel exactly that way. I'm not sure. I have young kids, so can't tell. Communications are also pretty amazing. Navigation is amazing. Certainly if you're walking, if you're in Manhattan or something, having Glass for navigation is unbelievable. I find it's really, really nice. And I also find that so navigation's amazing. Some of the core experiences we have, I think, are pretty amazing. Communications, phone calls, SMSs, voice. You saw the things we're doing around voice. It's amazing to always have the device there to do that. So I think ultimately a lot of your experiences can move to Glass, and we're relying on all of you to figure all that out. We're trying to get the base thing to make happy users so we can get on with it.
We're aligned with that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, over here.
Hi, my name is Caleb Allen, and I was wondering,
what advice you would give to the rising generation of technologists. What would help technology
Rising
keep moving
generation
at
of
the
technologists.
pace it's been moving at for the last 5 or 10 years, and how would they do that responsibly?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I think for me, I actually try to use Google a lot, and I research things really deeply. So, you know, before we get something started, I try to actually understand it. And I think, and not just really understand it, like understand the crazy people in the area. And Google's great for that. You can find the craziest person in any given area. And I think normally people do not do that. So I think you want to think about, you know, the base thing, you know, whatever it is. You know, we've been obviously working on smartphones a lot. They're relatively expensive now. And with Nexus 4, we tried to improve that a bit. But, you know, if you look at the raw material cost of a smartphone, you know, I guess it's mostly glass and silicon, tiny bit of silicon, a little bit of fiberglass. I don't know, the raw materials cost of it's probably like $1, you know, or something like that. I think glass is 50 cents a pound or something like that. I don't know, metals are 20 cents a pound.
So Google Glass is
phones
really
don't weigh
cheap
very much,
to make,
right? So,
yet they're
silicon
charging
is very,
$1,500
very cheap.
for it.
So I
Interesting.
think, when I see people in industries like are making things, I ask this question, like, how far are you off the raw materials cost? And they never know the answer to that question. So I think kind of as an engineer or as a technologist, trying to go to first principles and say, you know, what is the real issue? You know, what is the real issue around our power grids, or what's the real issue around manufacturing, or whatever it is? I think people usually don't answer those questions, and as a result, most of the work that's done is very incremental. And we don't, because of that, we don't make the progress we need to. But that said, I mean, it's very hard. If you're gonna make a smartphone for $1, I mean, that's obviously like almost impossible to do. But I think, you know, if you took a 50-year time frame or something like that, you took a longer view, you'd probably start to make the investments you needed to, and along the way, you'd probably figure out how to make money. So, you know, I just kind of encourage non-incremental thinking and a real deep understanding of whatever you're doing. That's what I try to do. Yeah, all the way over on the right, and I'll make another pass.
I have a question about the future of Android. So with Oracle taking control of Java from 7 forward, how does Google advance Android when one of the core technical underpinnings is not necessarily in its control?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a difficult relationship with Oracle.
Oracle has a difficult relationship with everybody. They
So
sue everybody for
I think,
the stupidest things. So, well, at least our
again, I
CEO
think,
does.
You know, we'd like to have a cooperative relationship with
So-
them, but hasn't seemed possible.
It's a good question.
And I think, again, probably money is more important to them than having any kind of collaboration or things like that. So I think that's been very difficult. I think we'll get through that. And I think obviously Android's very, very important to the Java ecosystem. And so we'll get through that just fine. Just not in an ideal way. Yeah, another question.
Hi, my name is Prashant. I'm an Android developer from India. I'm a heavy Google user. Most of my opinion, actually, I can trace back to a Google search. And as you search, as we saw today, it becomes more and more personalized and predictive. I kind of worry that it kind of enforces my worldview and kind of rule out the possibility of some serendipitous discovery of other side, you know. So any comment on that?
Yeah, no, that's a really great question.
That was the same question I had. Is
Concerned about
Google
that? I'm
becoming too
totally not worried
intrusive?
about that at all. And it sounds kind of funny to say, but that's totally under your control, and our control is cool. So I think it's very important to have a kind of wide worldview, to have education, all those kind of things. But the right solution to that is not randomness, right? So you can't really argue doing a bad job of returning whatever you wanted is the right way to educate you. It's just not. It'd be better to return exactly what you wanted when you wanted and use that saved time to have you read the news or read textbooks or books or other things that might be more general. So I think we can put that into the algorithms. So I think, I guess in my very long-term worldview, 50 years from now or something, hopefully our software understands deeply, what you're knowledgeable about, what you're not, and how to organize the world so that the world can solve important problems. People are starving in the world, not because we don't have enough food. It's because we're not organized to solve that problem. And our computers aren't helping us do that. So I think if you think about it that way, if you think about we need to make computer software and the internet that helps people solve important problems in the world, that will cause, as a side effect, for people to be educated about the things they should get educated about. And that's not the same as a demand. I'm asking for a particular thing I'm searching for. Those are different modes. You just got to make sure we're serving both modes and that computers can help you do that. So I could not be more optimistic about that. I think computers and software and things that you all write and we all write are going to help us solve those problems for people rather than just doing it at random. So, all right, next question.
Hi, Larry. I'm Azman from GDG Lead Brunei. It's great that Google has developed a lot of new technologies and allow us to live in a better way that we are today. My question is not about technology, it's just a basic question for the developers and the countries that I came from in the Far East. We developers have been trying to develop applications, but one of the main issues for us in many of the GDGs is that we can't sell. That's one part. The other thing is that I have been asked many times that why can't we buy paid apps? That's my simple questions. I hope it's a great opportunity to voice this one out to you, and I hope things can be done because I don't see any reason why, because people want to buy and they can use their credit cards. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, that's an area we've had huge focus on. So I think we've made a lot of progress.
I'm not sure if I understand the question.
We'll make a lot more progress, but
so I can't comment on it, unfortunately.
That's a very temporary problem. We'll get through that quickly. But thanks for bringing it up.
I'll leave. Oh, look at that.
Yes.
He didn't really answer the question, too.
My name is Kevin Nielsen from New Jersey, and I was intrigued about your comment about the positivity and the negativity, and I'm very interested in helping other people be positive about technology as you are, and I'm interested in what your advice would be to help us sort of reduce the negativity and focus on positive and focus on changing the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good question. I think people naturally are concerned about change, and certainly not all change is good. And I do think the pace of change in the world is increasing. Part of what I would think about, I think that we haven't adapted mechanisms to deal with that. And maybe some of our old institutions, like the law and so on, aren't keeping up with the rate of change that we've caused through technology. If you look at different kinds of laws we make or things like that, they're very old. I mean, the laws when we went public were 50 years old. And the law can't be right if it's 50 years old. Like it's before the internet. That's a pretty major change in how you might go public. So I think we need to, maybe some of you, or maybe the million people watching who love technology, maybe more of us need to go into other areas and help those areas improve and understand technology. And I think that's not happened at the rate it needs to happen. Yeah, thank you. And the other thing in my mind is we also haven't maybe built mechanisms to allow experimentation. There's many, many exciting and important things you could do that you just can't do because they're illegal or they're not allowed by regulation. And that makes sense. We don't want our world to change too fast. But maybe we should set aside a small part of the world. You know, I like going to Burning Man, for example, which I'm sure many of you have been to. Yeah. Few burners out there. That's an environment where people can try out different things, but not everybody has to go. And I think that's a great thing, too. I think as technologists, we should have some safe places where we can try out some new things and figure out what is the effect on society, what's the effect on people, without having to deploy it kind of into the normal world. And people who like those kinds of things can go there and experience that. And we don't have mechanisms for that. So those are the kind of things I would think about. I also think we need to be honest, and we don't always know the impact of changes, and we should be humble about that. You know, I'm not sure getting up on stage and saying everything is amazing and so on is the right thing. Maybe we should launch things a little more humble way and see what the effect is and adapt as we go. So those are kind of my thoughts. So I think, yeah, way on the side here.
Larry, Ben Schachter at Macquarie. Healthcare impacts the society in so many profound ways and impacts the economy. What are the strengths of Google that you can bring to help improve healthcare?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great maybe segue from the previous question. I think it's been difficult. You know, we had Google Health. We didn't make much progress on it. And I think primarily we found that all the issues were regulatory. And it's just very hard to get technological leverage there. So now I was talking about we're 1% of where we can be. That's by doing real amazing technological things. And, you know, we found certainly in the kinds of things we were working on in healthcare, we weren't able to move beyond that due to all the kind of constraints that we were under. And so I think we'll see amazing things in healthcare, but I think there'll be things that have technological leverage, like DNA sequencing. You know, we're clearly all going to have that. It's going to cost $1 or whatever. You're all going to have your sequence, and something amazing will happen. You know, I just disclosed yesterday my voice issues. I got so many great emails from people and thoughtful advice. And I realized, you know, I had kind of notion like this stuff should be very private. And at least in my case, I feel I should have done it sooner. And I'm not sure that the answer is not true for most people. So I asked, like, why are people so focused on keeping your medical history private? The answer is probably insurance. You're very worried that you're going to be denied insurance. That makes no sense. And we should change the rules around insurance so that they have to insure people. I mean, the whole point of insurance is it insures everyone. So.
Very true words. Very, very true words.
So again, you know, maybe we have a safe
insurance
place where
and
people can go and live in a world like that, where they make
hoping
those kind of changes
to have it and
work.
the difficulties
And then the
behind
world
it.
can learn from that. And
Larry
not
definitely has
everybody
some
has to
very
participate.
inspiring words
So we're
to
not
say on this, and
making
it's
some of the
definitely
fundamental
something to
changes
listen to
we need to make
and
faster.
pay attention to, because
Right. Maybe one or two
he
more
is a
questions
very
before
big
we run out of
voice,
time.
so he can
Yeah.
project
I'm
those.
John Sergardi with Form and Reform, one of the Burning Man artists you invited here tonight for the after party. Thank you.
Oh, great.
My question, I'm very inspired to see that you've reached out to the educational aspect. I have a 6-year-old, glad to see that Google's moving that direction. My question is about women in the development community. I'm looking around and I don't see a lot here, and I'd like to know what we can do to encourage women to be here. It's a simple question.
Yeah, I mean, we've been super focused on that forever. I think Sergey and I, when we were interviewing people, we spent a lot of time interviewing women for that reason, trying to make sure our company didn't end up all male, which I think is a really, really bad thing. So I think, like, ultimately, the only answer is we have to start early and make sure we're getting more young women and girls really excited about technology. And I think if we do that, there's no question we'll more than double the rate of progress we have in the technology world. So we all need to do that. And we're trying to help with that in any way we can. And thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, one more question.
Jeffrey Sika with the University of Michigan. While you had mentioned that regulation is usually the biggest problem trying to get technology into healthcare, I'm curious if you're going to be doing anything with DNA sequencing, considering you actually have all the horsepower behind it, and also image analysis with things like surgical slides and whatnot, because it seems like that's a really big area that we could get into to help people as a whole.
Yeah, no, I think those are good questions. I don't have anything to announce at the time, but we always look at these areas. But I think, you know, we have felt it's a difficult area for us to work in. I think it's certainly worth doing, though. All right, let's take one more. Yes.
Hello. I'm Josh Costin from TechCrunch. Could you discuss Google's plan for bringing the developing world online and what you see as the social, cultural, and political impacts of democratized access to the internet?
Oh, that's a really great question. And one of the things I always talk about in the company, when I talk to the company, is that smartphones are going to basically be amazing in these places. And so you don't quite have smartphones, for example, going into India or Africa because they're just too expensive. The average cost of a phone in India is very, very cheap. I don't know, $50 or $100 or less. I think more like $50. And I think that, you know, we need to make sure that the prices of what we all are using quickly make it down to those levels, and I think they will.
I think definitely in
smartphone you have today, 2 or 3 years
worlds,
from now,
third world countries, countries that don't have access to the free internet.
Amazing.
I think mobile access
Find, you know, I try to
and internet access
smartphones now,
is the way
just to
for
make sure
them
I'm
to
living
become
in
more
the future.
educated and to
I
further
can get almost
their
everything I
society.
need done.
That's at least one of the aspects.
Unfortunately, I don't get to program that much, but you know, I can do most things I need to do to run the company on my phone. So I think that's pretty amazing to think that that can go to 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion, 6. That can go to 3 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion, 7 billion plus in not very long period of time. And I think we're probably, people are underestimating how fast that's going to happen. You know, I think it's clearly going to happen very, very quickly. And I'm really, really excited about that. We're trying to help that happen quicker, but I'm very excited about that. So thank you all so much for spending so much time.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Thanks, everyone. Breakout sessions.
And that's it. That was our very long, very nice presentation. Let me see how long this was currently. It's currently 3 hours long. 3.5 actually, if you were watching the whole thing. We started about a half an hour late because I was having issues with Wirecast and getting it all set up. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are still watching or if you're viewing this afterwards, I want to appreciate you guys commenting, taking opinions, all of that stuff. Google definitely has a lot to show off at their developer conferences to further education. That with Larry Page was very inspiring for a lot of people, I believe. So I'd like to definitely extend a thank you to them for doing that, for him coming out on stage to tell us all of this stuff. So if you guys like to follow us on our social media profiles, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all under the username of LogicLounge. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing. Hopefully we can do more of these in the video. Leave your comments down below. This has been a long 3 hours, but thank you guys so much if you have been with us for this 3-hour session. So without further ado, I will say goodbye and sign off. Thank you guys. We'll see you guys next time.